live from the T.P.O.T studios, the game where we talk about discrimination, prejudice, bigotry, with all of the absurd hypocrisies and contradictions that come with it. Get ready to play the ridiculous race game. Open your mind.
The Prophet of Thought. The Prophet of Thought. You know. The Prophet of Thought. Prophet of Thought. Open your mind, 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 open your mind.
And we are back. Peace, folk, and welcome back to another edition of the Prophet of Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I am your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Tonight, it's the return of the ridiculous race game. And we're going to have some fun tonight. It's going to be a little different. It's not what you used to. Actually, we had to change some things kind of the last hour or two because my boy, brother SKC, y'all know that's my dude. He's part of my production team. He was supposed to help me out, but he's feeling a little under the weather. So we had to kind of readjust some things, but we're going to have some fun tonight. It's going to be fun. I got a pretty good cast tonight. And also, if you're out there and you happen to want to come play, you know what to do. The email is prophetofthought@yahoo.com. That's prophetofthought, one word, no caps, @yahoo.com. It's going to be fun tonight, y'all. I promise. But before we get started, and as my contestants start to file in, y'all know I always start the show, man, with thanking you, good folk, for your likes, your shares, your views, your subs, and of course, your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces. Because I realize you don't have to do it, man. You don't have to show up to these goddamn streams. You don't have to watch these videos. You don't have to like them, share them. You don't have to sub to this channel. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard earned coins on this platform. But night after night, week after week, you good folk are here. And I don't take you good folks lightly, man. I never have and I never will. You got my word on that. And by now, y'all know I don't say it to kiss your butts because I don't believe in kissing your damn ass. I say it because I really mean it. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm appreciative of all of you good folks, man. And that goes for the good folks who hang out there and the good folks who hang out up in here. All right. All right. Let's get at it. But y'all know, before we start, we always start the show off with a little segment I like to call the old mama of the day. Yes, time for the old mama of the day. So let me go ahead and share it with you. This mama of the day hails from Arizona. And you see the headline, Mother Smothers 3 children, props them up on sofa as if they were napping. Isn't that something? Says here, good folk, Rachel Henry, 22, was booked into the Maricopa County Jail on 3 counts of first-degree murder after admitting she had harmed the children, Phoenix Police Sergeant Mercedes Fortune said. Police arrested a young mother on Tuesday on suspicion of smothering her 3 children to death, one at a time, in the family's Phoenix home, then propping their bodies up on the sofa as if they were napping, authorities and court records say. Rachel Henry, 22, was booked into the Maricopa County Jail on 3 counts of first-degree murder after admitting she had harmed the children, Phoenix Police Sergeant Mercedes Fortune said. Court records later showed that she was being held in lieu of bail of $3 million. The 30-year-old father and 49-year-old relative identified in redacted court records as the homeowner and an aunt were also taken in for questioning. Police initially said the cause of the children's death had yet to be determined, and there were no obvious signs of trauma. A probable cause statement filed in court by police and later made public said Henry had admitted to deliberately smothering each child, 2 girls aged 7 months and a year, and a 3-year-old boy, starting with the older daughter. It was not immediately clear if Henry had an attorney. The probable cause statement filed by police said Henry confessed to placing her hands over the nose and mouths of the victims until each stopped breathing. And she described smothering the 1-year-old while the girl's brother looked on, yelling at his mother to stop and punching her to no avail. She recounted smothering the 3-year-old next, straddling him on the floor of her bedroom as she sang to the child. And he tried scratching and pinching her until he died, according to the probable cause statement. It said she then fed her 7-month-old daughter a bottle before smothering her again while singing to the infant. Afterward, according to the statement, Henry placed all 3 children on the living room couch as if they were taking a nap, without telling either of the 2 other adults in the house what had happened. Police said they went to the home on Monday night after responding to an emergency call from a relative inside and found the 3 children who were pronounced dead at the scene. These old mamas. And there she is. And do you good folk notice that with every one of these stories, they're just in their mugshot, they're just looking like out of their mind. Like it's not like they're sad. You don't see a look of contrition or sorrow or remorse or anything. They just got this crazy look like, yeah, I just murdered the babies. Nothing to see here. This is nothing. Do y'all believe me yet? I've been telling you about these old mamas for years. Do you believe me yet? I'm never going to run out of these stories, people. Notice I bring you a different story every night I stream. And it's not like I have to look for them. I have this stuff in the cache on my computer. I'm hoping to run out, but I know that's never going to happen. And so do you. You know it's never going to happen either, don't you? But that's our old mama of the day. So let's get at it. I see my contestants have arrived. Let me go ahead and introduce them properly. Let's see. Get some introduction music going. There we go. Coming to the stage, he's usually known as the resident white man of the ridiculous race game. The one, the only, Survival is here.
Hey, what's
Brother
up?
Survival, what's good with it, man?
What's up, man? Resident white guy in the house. What's up? Salute, man.
My
Good
man.
to see you. Good
All
to
right,
see you, man.
all right. Coming to the stage, she's known as the evil mother at times. Also a white person. Also hated by many in black and white YouTube. The one and only good mother is here.
Hello.
What's good mother?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. And last but definitely not least, she's actually one of our returning champions, known for her sharp commentary and her southern drawl when she speaks. The one and only Lady Sunkiss is here. Peace, Lady Sunkiss.
How you doing?
What's up,
going on?
Sunkiss?
What's going on?
Hey,
man?
Survival. What's up, man?
Hello.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh,
I
we're all
had
cammed up. If we're gonna
I
say
had a plan. Well, I'm sticking to it, but I'm just doing it minus his brother SKC, who we all know and love. He was supposed to come in and help me out, but he's not feeling too well. So, he gave me a rain check on it. So, but we're gonna go through it. And what we're gonna do tonight is I called this game tonight, I call it Crime Time. Now, for the last, I say, week or two, we've been kind of focusing in on crime and killings and police brutality. And the other night, I actually did a stream about juvenile delinquency and teen murderers. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to be pulling up some information, and I'm going to be giving you guys questions, and it's going to sort of be like Jeopardy, right? I'm going to ask you a question, and I guess put your hand up or make a buzzer sound, whatever you want to do, and see if you can answer these questions.
do we
all
have
right?
to answer the question? Do we have to? If it's Jeopardy,
Nah, you don't have to answer it with a now. You don't have
is
to
it
answer
what
with a
is?
question.
What is
Yeah.
this, Mr. Trebek?
Yeah. They ain't got to do all of that. I'll
All
try
right.
to keep my eyes on y'all to make sure I see the person who put their hand up first. But that's what we're going to do in the beginning. And the ridiculous race game, I usually make rules up as I go along. So, we'll be doing other shit too, throughout this little while. I know I only got the good mother for an hour. So I want to try to get a lot of
I'm
stuff
only about
in
an hour
before
good,
she
too.
gets up out of here. Okay, I only got Survival for an hour. How about you, Lady Sunkiss? I only got you for an hour too?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. All right, so let's get started. Let us get started here. Okay, hold on a second. Damn it. All right. Now, in front of me, I have an article about juvenile delinquency. So our first question is this. Get ready. What is the primary contributing factor of juvenile delinquency? Up, good mother
Man,
beat both of you.
good mother beat. Yeah.
Good mother.
Absent father in the home.
I gotta look to the judges for this one. Yeah, we're gonna let that one go. Because it says here that the most severe risk factors to juvenile crime is lack of a stable family. So we're father not there, no kind of the same thing. So we're gonna go ahead and let that go. The judges said let that go. So
Yeah,
judges said let it
structure.
go.
Yeah, Delisha is
judges said,
she's on the right page there.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Being that poor family structure is a main contributing factor to juvenile delinquency, what is one of the main things, or should I say, what is the primary thing to try to prevent it?
Good
mother.
Oh, dang it.
Having stability at home. Having.
Anybody else?
Can you say the question again?
What is the primary thing that can prevent juvenile delinquency? Lady Sunkiss?
Parental guidance.
And brother survival.
I don't know. Parental responsibility or mentorship?
And the answer is studies show that one of the primary things to keep juveniles from being delinquent is sitting down, eating dinner with their parents.
Makes sense.
What's the saying go? Like a family that eats together stays together, or
Yeah,
probably
something like that.
Having
Something
a family.
like that.
Having a family. You have some good school kids if you have a family.
All right, we're going here. Female juvenile arrests are up these days. Does anyone know why? Brother Survival.
Okay. I think that feminism has, or modern, whatever wave we're in now, has promoted feminism to become very masculine. And in doing that, they're taking risks they wouldn't otherwise take. And females are doing more risky things that boys would normally do, or young men would normally do. That'll get you in trouble. And normally it was kind of reserved for men to be doing all these risky, dumb stuff. But, now it's just the girls are doing it too in certain communities.
We got to look at the judges for that one. Judges say we can let that one go. They say here, female juvenile arrests are on the rise because girls are socialized differently today. Plus, society has accepted the idea of feminine superheroes and villains. So the judges say we let Brother Survival get that one. All right. Shit, I lost my damn place. God damn it. What percentage of crimes, according to the FBI, are committed by juveniles?
Somebody raised their hand. Sunkiss, get in here. What are you doing out here?
Good mother. Don't be Googling shit, Lady Sunkiss. Don't be Googling shit.
I'll go with 50%.
I have no idea.
35%.
The FBI, according to the FBI, it says that the juvenile crimes account for 20% of all reported crimes. Yeah. All right. The next one. Oh, shit. Lost my place again, y'all. Hold up.
Where's that?
Oh, no. I want to. Hold on. I want to switch. I'm going to switch to another tab. We'll come back to that one. All right. What I have here is I have a caseload of crimes that were committed. I'm going to leave the names out. I'm going to leave the gender out. I'm going to leave the color out. So you'll be asked both times. You'll be asked 2 questions, right? 2 questions for each case. I'll ask you the gender, and I'll ask you the race of the person who committed the crime.
Oh, this one will be
ready?
good. This one will be fun. Yeah.
Are we ready?
Oh yeah. Well, this one will be good.
All right.
Are we going to raise our hands for this one, or are we just going to go around the horn?
Yeah. No. Raise your hand. I'm gonna give. I want to make it even. First hand up gets to take the shot. All right, everybody ready? Here we go. 2 juvenile delinquents, obviously, dragged one of their classmates into the woods and stabbed him 19 times. Both of the offenders were 12 years old. The girl that they stabbed did not die, but they were very bad. They stabbed a girl up very bad 19 times. Now I will ask you, what do you believe the gender? Go ahead, good mother.
Was it a young white boy?
No.
No?
Oh,
Lady Sunkiss. Do you have your hand up, or are you just doing something?
I have my hand up.
Okay.
2 white girls.
Yes.
She got it right.
Yep. Anissa Weir and Morgan Geyser.
Why?
2014, both 12-year-olds dragged their friend, a girl named Peyton Lautner, into the woods where they stabbed her 19 times. The girls claimed they did it to please some fictional, creepy character called Slender Man. They were 12 years old.
Sunkissed, Lou, you got some. She's got some green screen going on up in there. Get some staticky looking hair up.
Don't be googling shit, Lady Sunkiss. You ain't slick.
I didn't go to that.
All right.
Remember that story.
Next one. 3 teenagers set another teenager on fire. Poured alcohol over his body and lit it. 65% of his body was burned. The only reason why he survived is because he jumped into a pool. 3. Y'all probably gonna get this one wrong, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. 3 young teenagers committed this crime. What was their gender and race?
I'm gonna be wrong here. I'll just be wrong real quick. I'm gonna say
survival.
I'm just gonna say it. Asian men.
Anyone else?
I'm gonna say it was males. And I want to
Yes.
say multiracial.
Oh, damn. That was pretty damn good. It was two black boys and one guy, I guess he's white or Hispanic, it's hard to tell. Pretty damn good, Lady Sunkiss. Pretty good, Lady Sunkiss. Lady Sunkiss is kicking y'all asses right now, by
Yeah,
the
I
way.
know.
Um
You need to knock
uh,
that off with your
uh,
static hair.
authorities arrested these teenagers for setting 15-year-old Michael Brewer on fire over a $40 video game related debt. When Brewer didn't pay up, they took his father's bicycle, orchestrated an attack. The group held down Brewer while he had alcohol poured over him, rubbing alcohol poured over him, and lit him a fire. The fire was so severe, his clothes burnt off of his body as he desperately tried to stop, drop, and roll. He eventually jumped into a pool to extinguish the flames, but still 65% of his body was burned. All right. Next one. Two juvenile delinquents took a young kid from a shopping center. They took the young boy, eventually killed him after abusing him and also sodomizing him. Race and gender.
White ladies.
Survival.
White ladies.
Good mother.
Hispanic girls.
Lady Sunkiss.
Males, but
Yes.
I want to say I can't really tell the race on this one, but I'm gonna go with black. Okay.
Two young white boys.
Yeah.
Both 10 years old.
Dude, my girl.
Robert Thompson.
Hey, my girl, T.P.O.T, my girlfriend is in the chat. Francesca Matias. Did she nail it? She said two British boys.
Oh, I can't even see the chat. I got.
Oh.
Hold on a second. Let me bring. I'm not even looking at the chat.
I don't know if she was right or not, but I don't know if it was a guess. Maybe she heard the story, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. She's right. She's right. She's right.
Damn, that's creepy, dude. Why?
This happened in Liverpool. 10-year-olds. Robert. 10 years old. 10 years old, Robert Thompson and John Venables led 2-year-old James Bulger away from a shopping center parking lot and boom, boodle. The boys took him to Leeds and Liverpool Canal where they dropped him on his head, to which he began to cry. And as many as 38 bystanders didn't intervene. Only 2 people challenged the 10-year-old boys who said the toddler was their brother. Venables and Thompson eventually took Bulger to train tracks where they put blue paint in his eyes, kicked him, stepped on him, threw rocks at him. They made him eat batteries, and police believe the boys may have inserted batteries into the old's anus. The boys dropped a 22-pound railroad bar on Bulger's head, which fatally broke his skull in 10 places.
That's all bad. All bad.
That's some sadistic shit.
Yeah, real bad.
Aren't you glad you came tonight?
Yeah. I'm real glad now. Happy Saturday evening.
Next one.
We have
a 12-year-old, a 12 and 13-year-old, respectively, took their father's gun and fatally shot a 29-year-old. Gender and race.
I'm just gonna say black. I'm gonna say black male. Just go with it.
Elaborate. Remember, it's 2 of them.
Oh, there's 2 of them. Maybe it was a black guy and a white guy, or a black guy and a Mexican guy.
Anyone else?
Dang it.
Lady
Oh.
Sunkiss.
Black girl, black boy.
Yes. Lady Sunkiss is kicking y'all asses.
Yeah, well, Sunkiss,
tonight.
you got.
I'm just.
I don't know what she
she-
studied.
Well, she
You know,
is one of my returning champions. She is
she
one of my
understands the
returning
assignment.
It's a culture thing. So the details of the crime will kind of give you a clue as to who the fuck is doing it because of the ways people behave inside of their culture.
Well, see what I think I may be giving y'all too much information. I might have to cut back on the info. But anyway, Curtis and Catherine Jones were 12 and 13 years old, respectively, when they took their father's gun and fatally shot his 29-year-old girlfriend. Shot her to death. Shot their father's girlfriend. Crazy little fool. Just crazy little fools.
Was she a crazy bitch?
According to the story, it says that they were being sexually assaulted and they were sad that no one was doing anything about it. I think they wanted to kill the girlfriend and the father because I believe the uncle was doing it to them. And the uncle wasn't there, the father wasn't there. So they shot the 29-year-old girlfriend because they felt like she wasn't helping them or wasn't believing them or whatever, which is kind of common in a lot of these cases. You know, these kids, they get molested, you know, the parents don't believe them, you know,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. So they took matters in their own hands and they had to buck somebody down.
Yeah.
But we move on. A 17-year-old hid his parents' dead bodies in the house, took ecstasy pills, and then had a party while the parents' bodies were still in the home.
That sounds like a
Survival.
that sounds like a white boy thing to do.
Yep, that's a white boy. 17-year-old
That's what
Tyler
we do.
Hadley.
I
Yeah,
do.
oh,
I
that's
do
what y'all.
those things all
That's
the
what
time.
y'all do. Take
I do that
ecstasy
stuff
and
all
kill
the
your
time.
parents and have
No,
a party in their house.
I do it like once a month, you guys.
Jeez. Yeah, I think I gave it away with the ecstasy thing. You know, ecstasy is a white boy drug. But anyway, 17-year-old Tyler Hadley hid his parents' cell phone so they couldn't call the police. He took 3 ecstasy pills and blasted Feel Lucky by Little Boozy to psych himself up. He then took a claw hammer from the garage, went into the living room, bludgeoned his mother to death, who was working on the family computer. After his father discovered his wife dead on the floor, Tyler beat him with the claw hammer as well, then used Facebook to invite local teens to a party at his house while he left his parents' bodies
Dude, that's
in
so
their
so
bedroom.
dark. That's so dark, man. Like that's
Yeah.
serious mental illness. That's serious mental illness.
Wow.
That's a renegade.
I've heard that story before, but like just to be able to do that and then have a party, like that's not normal. No, but for anyone, that's not normal behavior for anyone. That's
Yeah,
really
well,
weird.
teenagers, emotionally irrational, crazy ass teenager, that make perfect sense. Cause you know they be like, "Fuck you, mom. Fuck you, mom. I hate you, mom."
Right. And then that's being a drug addict to the mix.
I'm going to kill you, Mom,
Yeah.
and do it and really do it that night. Say it and really do
he
it.
did it,
Yeah.
so you know he got to celebrate his victory and shit, and don't nobody know what he did. So he getting his rocks off while people partying, and they in there dead because like what they gonna do about it? They dead.
Right.
All right, we move on. A 12-year-old threw their little brother into a bookshelf approximately a dozen times, causing lethal injuries to kill him. Race and gender.
Let me.
Black man.
Oh, was
Survival?
that? Well, I think that Sunkiss might have had her hand up first, but she might have been digging
Lady
in her
Sunkiss?
ear. She might have dig her
Did you have your hand?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I'll go with white. I'll go with white skin at this point.
White?
Yeah.
What did Sunkiss
Good
say?
mother.
I said
She was
baby.
just.
Black. He said white.
I'm still waiting for Sunkiss's hair to change the channel.
Hispanic
Yes.
girl.
Actually, it is a young Hispanic male. His name is Christian Fernandez. He was 12 when he threw his 2-year-old brother approximately a dozen times, causing lethal injuries. Prosecutors initially claimed the act was premeditated, and they said they intended to charge him accordingly. As an adult, allegedly Fernandez habitually hit his little brother a lot. He was eventually charged with second-degree manslaughter, and he pled guilty. And he's 12, and he killed his 2-year-old little brother.
It's terrible, man. Terrible.
All right, we move on.
My girlfriend got it right though. She said Latin boy.
I can't.
It's all right. I'll tell you the
bring the chat up because I can't see the chat.
It's all good.
All right. A 6-year-old shot an 8-year-old after an argument. A 6-year-old shot an 8-year-old after an argument.
What kind of 6-year-olds are even near firearms at all?
This kind.
To me that goes
this kind.
that goes
Survival.
only like if you're gonna be around firearms. I think that it's either gonna be a white or a black thing, and so I don't really know which way to put this. A 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. It's going to be around a very irresponsible family, no matter what it is. If a 6-year-old shooting an 8-year-old, if it's white, I'll go with white because of just because of the ratio.
Gender.
Male.
Yep. Survival gets it. 6-year-old Carl Mahan had a fight with 8-year-old Cecil Van House over a piece of scrap metal that he wanted to sell to a junk dealer. Mahan was hit in the face with the scrap metal, and he grabbed the gun and fatally shot the 8-year-old.
Well, let me ask you this: Have you ever had a nice piece of scrap metal that you wanted to sell? The X?
I have scrap metal all the time. I don't do the junking. I have a guy who comes and get it because you know what we do. We always got scrap metal and shit around all the time. I don't know if I would shoot someone.
Yeah. What about when you were 6 though?
Would I have shot someone over a piece of scrap metal? It better have been copper. It better had been copper or aluminum. It couldn't be like steel or iron. It better have been like copper or brass. Yeah, it better have been brass. If I was shooting over.
You got magnesium there? I'll shoot somebody for that.
Yeah. All right. 16-year-old fatally slammed their car into another car during a police chase, killing 2 people. Killing 2 people.
So that those are the clues. Oh man, or looks like Good Mother's up.
Good Mother.
Can I just say white girl?
Yep. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. 16-year-old Marilee Gardner took her parents' car, got into a police chase. She had planned on purchasing drugs, taking the drugs, and then crashing her mother's car with both of them inside to take their lives. All right. Oh, this was going to be tough. Yeah, this is going to be tough. Young teen opens fire at an elementary school. Don't overthink this. At an elementary school across the street from the school with a .22 rifle. Killed the principal and a janitor and wounded 8 children and a school officer. Gender and race. Survival.
I'm just wild. It's wild guess, man. Like I have no idea. You said don't overthink it, so it's wild guess for me. When you say gender, I don't think I've ever heard of a woman shooting a school up or anything like that. So I'm gonna go with male for gender. Really?
Anyone else?
Oh shit!
What? Wait a minute.
Anyone else?
What? Oh man, I don't know now.
All right, white chick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
White
them white girls are dangerous. I'm telling you.
Happened in San Diego. Brenda Spencer lived across the street from the Grover Cleveland Elementary School. The 16-year-old sat in her window with the .22 rifle and opened fire. She lethally shot the principal, a custodian, as well as wounding 8 children and an officer. Spencer cited her reason for shooting spree as, "I don't like Mondays." She claimed to be under the influence.
That's right. I remember that.
PCP.
Delisha makes a point that was that person a transgender or were they actually a female?
It says here she was actually a girl.
I see, but you never know these days though. So
It says here she was a girl. I mean, she kind of looks like a girl. She looks like a girl.
Well,
I mean,
sometimes they do
nowadays.
Sometimes
they
do.
right?
Right.
You can't tell most of the damn time. All right, next one. This 14-year-old juvenile delinquent set his mom on fire. Set mom on fire. Good mother.
Is that a white boy?
Yep.
It sounds like a white thing to do. I don't know why.
Yeah. Says here, 14-year-old Daniel Bartribe was tried as an adult, but the courts did decide to lift his anonymity like they would in an adult. Bartham fatally hit his mother with the hammer before setting fire to her body.
She must have done something real bad to that boy because
she didn't want to buy him Call of Duty, so you
just got to burn your mom up. Like, okay, you don't want, you want to buy me Call of Duty? You're getting burned.
Mom, you're not going to buy me Madden. I'm going to kill you. And really do it.
That's
all right,
terrible, man, terrible.
We got 2 teens here. Says here, the 2 teens used a knife to kill their mother and their sister at home, and then proceeded to just watch Twilight and eat ice cream after the murders.
Don't do it, Mandy. Don't do it, good mother.
Good mother.
Twilight, that's such a chick flick, right?
That's white as fuck. That's white girl as fuck.
Now remember, it's two of them. It's two of them.
Oh, so maybe a boy and a girl,
Yep.
but they're
White
white.
girl, white boy.
Yeah.
Yep. They took, well, actually,
What
the
was
two
her issue?
white juvenile delinquents, they were actually boyfriend and girlfriend. They
Okay.
used the knife to kill the girl's mother and her little sister in the home. Then they watched Twilight movies, eat ice cream, have sex. They took a bath together to wash off the blood. 2 days later, police discovered the bodies.
That's freaking gross, man.
It was
All
her.
right. This one y'all might get.
Is Sunkiss standing outside the library right now, or what?
I might be.
This one
don't
you
know.
might
Nobody knows.
get. Because I think this one was kind of, this had a lot of notoriety back in the day. But this 13-year-old juvenile delinquent took a 4-year-old. He took a 4-year-old, led him into the woods, strangled the 4-year-old, sodomized the 4-year-old, then dropping 2 rocks on his head, killing him. Sunkiss.
White male.
Yep. 13-year-old Eric Smith led
Damn.
4-year-old Derek Robbery into Steuben County woods. As Robbie walked to a nearby summer camp, Smith strangled and sodomized the boy with a tree limb before fatally dropping 2 large rocks on his head.
Oh, that's a bad guy. A real bad guy.
Yep. All right. 2 more people. Remember, 2 juvenile delinquent 13-year-olds waited until their old man was asleep, snuck into his room, bashed him in the head 10 times with an aluminum baseball bat, then set the house afire. Survival.
I'm going white.
Yep. Gender.
Sounds like some males.
Yep.
Sounds like
Derek King and his
Okay.
brother, 13 and 12, waited until their father was asleep, snuck into his room, bashed him in the head with a bat 10 times, and as a cover-up, the boys set the house afire.
I bet the dad did some bad to those boys, because you don't just get boys to do that kind of stuff without being bad to them.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Next one. This 16-year-old killed a person, beat a man to death because as they were driving their car past, the man told them to slow down. This juvenile delinquent came back and beat the person to death.
Hmm.
Good mother.
Male,
Yep.
black. Nah.
Survival.
I will go male, black.
Lady Sunkiss.
Male white.
Lady Sunkiss is kicking y'all ass tonight.
Yeah,
She is
Lady
Lady Sunkiss is
killing
but
it.
she is one of my returning champions, so you know it is what it is. Says here, Austin Brumley, 16, beat a man outside of the man's Texas home. The teen and some friends were joyriding, and when the 28-year-old Jonathan Bird came out of his house and told him to slow down, angered, Brumley threatened to shoot him with an AK-47, and then Brumley punched and kicked Bird. Brumley grabbed a hammer out of his truck and hit Bird in the back of the head, killing him. What is it with these kids and these hammers? Jesus.
Accessible.
We need common sense hammer control.
What
out
weapon
there.
of choice, man? The old reliable claw hammer.
Yeah.
Oh man,
When in doubt, grab your freaking hammer.
I guess.
All right. This one isn't a murder, but it is kind of bad. This 13-year-old shot and robbed their own friend.
13-year-old.
Robbed their own friend and was charged with attempted murder and armed robbery. 13-year-old. Survival.
I mean, I don't want to sound too racist, but if we're talking 13, I'm going either Latin or black. I'll go Latin right now. Let's go Latin. No? All right.
Anyone else?
Stoic says black now.
I need the details again.
Stoic, if you wanna play, goddammit, you better bring your ass up here, brother Stoic. Shot and robbed his own
13.
friend
So that's
for
young.
money. 13-year-old. Shot and robbed their own. Good mother.
I'll say male and black.
Ding, 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 ding. Seminole County, 13-year-old Jaheim Holly, charged with attempted murder and armed robbery after he shot a 19-year-old acquaintance. According to the Orlando Sentinel, Holly pleaded with McKnight to give him a ride. While they were driving, Holly pulled out a gun after a brief physical altercation, shot McKnight in the stomach, and made off with McKnight's cash. Bad,
Terrible.
bad people. All right, let's move into the next phase of the game.
I'm about 1
shit.
minute left, man. Like I scheduled myself 1 hour.
Okay.
Sorry, man. I gotta get back. But
Yeah. I know. I only got good mother for another few minutes too, because she told me earlier she only had an hour.
Yeah, I have a stream at 8.
Okay. I'm going to ask percentages on this one. Juvenile offenders. What percentage of property crimes do they commit?
property crimes. Juvenile offenders, property crimes. I'll do a hand wave there. I'm just gonna throw it out.
Lady Sunkiss. Lady Sunkiss got it
Sunkiss
first.
is up.
Go ahead, Lady Sunkiss.
5%.
Property crimes, juveniles. I'm gonna say 20%.
Good mother.
I mean that includes vandalism, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
Yes.
got to be higher. Yeah, 40.
30%. 30%.
So
What
you
percentage-
said 40, I said 30. We were equal.
What percentage of drug crimes do juvenile offenders commit? Drug crimes.
60%.
Anyone? Good mother.
15.
Got to look at the judges for that one. The judges said give it to you. It's 14.
Mm.
It's 14.
Oh man, my girlfriend is in the chat. She said 15. She's very close. And Clue
Yeah,
is saying
yeah.
she's checking her out in the background there.
The judges say give it to you. So we got it. Judges say that's close enough.
That's close.
All right.
Most minors don't even get caught.
Yeah. What percentage of crimes against other people do juveniles commit? I'm assuming this is assaults, batteries, or whatever like that.
Can you phrase it? Can you say it again?
What percentage of crimes do juvenile offenders commit against others? Like I said,
Yeah.
battery, assault. What percentage?
Yeah. Oh, you
Good
guys
mother.
tough.
30.
Yeah, minors
The
can be
judges say
pretty
give it to you.
mean. They
It's
can be.
31.
Good
31.
God, where are you guys getting your numbers?
And I guess this will be the last one for survival and good mother. What percentage of public order offenses do juvenile delinquents
Public
commit?
order offenses. Public order offenses. Young people in we're talking America or
Yes.
United States. Public
People
order
between
offenses.
the ages of 12 and 17, they're saying.
Sure. Yeah. With our entire country, man. I don't know. It's a prop.
Good mother.
Man, yeah, Mandy's got something.
Well, they're not of drinking age yet, so it's got to be lower. I don't know, 10.
And
20, I'll
Anyone?
go 15. I'll go 15.
Lady Sunkiss.
Sunkissed. You got that static turned off.
What'd you say?
25.
That's right.
Oh
25.
shit! You got one.
Lady Sunkiss.
She killed us
kicking
today,
y'all-
man.
Kicking y'all white asses up here
She
tonight.
smoked us today, man.
Y'all-
Lady Sunkissed.
y'all are
salute
no
to
match.
you.
No match for Lady Sunkiss tonight.
No match for Sunkissed.
But I appreciate y'all playing. I know y'all both have to go. I appreciate
Yeah.
y'all coming up here, getting your butts kicked by Lady
Yeah.
Sunkiss tonight. I
We
really
did.
appreciate
Salute,
it.
Sunkissed. Salute.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all playing along. Y'all are always good sports, as always, man. You know, Brother Survival, my man, Lady Good Mother, always appreciate it when you guys come through, man. All right.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you
All
guys
right.
later.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
Thank you,
You
Xavier.
got it.
See you later, son.
See you later.
So now it's just you and I, Lady Sunkissed. All right. So now I guess we can get real racist against white folks. I guess we could be really, really racist against white people. Brother Clue, man, I wrote you, man, to see if you wanted to come and play, man. You ain't get my email, brother? Do I have the wrong email, or are you just giving me the old no response, brother? You give me the old no response, or what? Because I did write you, brother. I wanted you to come up here tonight. So I guess what I'm going to do, Lady Sunkiss, I'm going to go to, let me pull this up, because I want to show you some stuff that my man Cyber Toxin had sent me. Because he sent me a couple videos of some white people in confrontations with the police. Let me see if I can find them. Hold on.
I'm gonna send you something real quick.
Give me a second. Yeah, he sent me quite a few of them. He sent me quite a few of them. Let's see if I can find them. God damn it. Cyber Toxin, if you're out there watching, man, could you send them back to me just in case I don't find this shit? Because I forgot what I did. If you're out there, Cyber.
Good Lord.
Because now I can't find them. God damn it. Now I can't find the shit.
Where is it?
Now I can't find it.
La, 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 la.
Okay, here we go. Found them. Found them. Found one of them anyway. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Go ahead and share this. I want to know what you think about this, Lady Sunkiss.
Okay. I just sent you something too. You can use that at your discretion.
Okay. All right, folks. Before we get started, you know I got to put my banner up because it may get a little graphic. Warning, warning. This T.P.O.T stream contains scenes that some viewers may find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Negroes. All right. All right. Here we go. Fair use.
HQ November 157, I just been fucking stabbed! Drop the fucking knife! Get on the fucking ground! Get on the fucking ground! Shots fired!
Put that fucking knife down right now.
Get on the ground! Get away from that knife!
Whoa, shit.
Shots fired by the police. Rescue distance, 1020.
Get your first aid kit. I got her.
Stay down.
Stay down. Stay down.
Get out of the way! Get out of the way!
Get out of the way!
Is she crazy?
Stay down, man. Get out of the way! Move! 3551. Sir 146, 158 on fast in the area. Move out of the way! Units coming off golf fair. Block traffic. Stay down. Stop the shooting. Are you all right?
I got stabbed.
Huh?
I got stabbed right here.
Okay, come over here. Hey, you rolled 1068 for an officer stabbed in the arm. You all right?
Yes, sir. No, I have one.
Block on the Ballwood. Block on traffic Ballwood. Still has the knife.
Fucking knife right there.
Come here. Take her.
I got stabbed.
Ripley, get where she's stuck in the arm.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fucking shout on the radio like that. Who is that? I'm sorry, I'm shaking. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna cut the sleeve.
Okay.
You got a pressure tester? Put that on
I'm
there.
sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay. Don't look. We got it. It's fine. It's not that bad. You got a pressure tester? Yeah, I got it. Just give me that. Yep.
I have it,
This one? Yep.
it's not bleeding. It's
you're
fine. I don't really.
You're good. You're good.
She just walked out with that. I'm sorry. Can I turn my camera off?
Stay down, ma'am.
Units coming off golf fair. Block traffic. Stay down.
Ma'am, stay down. Drop the knife. Let us get rescue. Drop the knife. Girl, you okay? Hey, are you all right? Sir.
Hey, she rolled 1068 for an officer stabbed in the arm.
Hey, are you all right? Come here. Come here.
Right there, block all traffic at Baldwin. Block all traffic at Baldwin. She still has the knife.
She's got the knife right there. Come here. She's been stabbed. She's been stabbed. Stay down, ma'am. Please, stay down.
Now, I'm going to stop this here. They done shot her multiple times, right?
Yep.
She's still on the ground. She still got the damn blade, right? And their study telling her, put the knife down, put the knife down, put the knife down. But we continue. Because I'm leading up to something. We continue.
Okay.
Fair use.
Suspect been shot several times, still has the knife trapped. We have an officer been stabbed in the arm. We got numerous officers here. Stand by. We're in a standoff.
Drop the knife. All right, go in there and get that knife. Go.
Stop fighting my dog! Stop fighting my dog! Let go of my dog! Somebody got a taser in the face.
Somebody tase her.
Taser! All right, she's got guts coming out of her stomach. Gotta be careful.
Hey, rifle. Watch that house. She come out of that house.
All right, we're going to stop that right there. All right, we're going to stop that right there. And we're going to go to another one. I want you to see a couple of them before I ask you a few things. Here we go. Fair use.
We begin with our first look at body cam video of a deadly confrontation near Lansing between a sheriff's deputy and an armed man. Police say the man who was killed had been refused service at a store early this morning for not wearing a mask and stabbed a 77-year-old customer in that dispute.
Police responded and found the man driving near his home. What happened next is getting a closer look with newly released body cam video. All of this as we learn more about the man who was shot and killed. We bring in Jason Colthorpe to break this down for us. Jason.
And Devin, I think it really, considering the emotional landscape we're all living in right now, it's important to point out that this is the second time in 4 days now a department has released video of a deadly encounter with police the same day. That's something we almost never saw before. And again, tonight, the Eaton County Sheriff releasing body cam video after releasing surveillance just earlier today.
Drop the weapon!
Body cam video from a 22-year veteran of the Eaton County Sheriff's Office captures the encounter as a man charges her. She fires several shots and has to reload and fire again to finally put him down. The victim is 43-year-old state worker Sean Rice, who police say had stabbed a 77-year-old man over a mask dispute minutes earlier at a convenience store. The deputy tracked him to the neighborhood where he lived in Grand Ledge, just west of Lansing, and pulled him over. Home surveillance shows Rice immediately walking toward the deputy, ignoring orders to drop it and then charging. A close look at the body cam shows Rice had 2 knives in his right hand and a screwdriver in his left. After the first several shots, he swats the deputy's arm down. She reaches to push him away. She's able to separate, quickly drop the clip, and she reloads. And then fires several more shots, from which Rice finally falls and does not get up.
Now, Rice died later at the hospital during surgery. We should say that 77-year-old victim who was stabbed is still in serious condition. And if you're wondering about the beginning of that part of the body cam where the shots are being fired, I ran this by a longtime law enforcement member of law enforcement tonight, and he said it's not out of the realm that in that chaos those shots missed, even though they were so close, or that they didn't take effect on that man simply because of all the adrenaline right away. And then when you saw when she had to reload, he says it's very possible that her gun jammed or she was carrying a smaller weapon. But either way, being able to reload another cartridge that quickly may have been what saved her life. Back to you.
It was something to watch. Jason, what did Rice do?
All right, we're going to stop that right there. And I'm going to show you one more Lady Sunkiss, and then we're going to discuss.
Okay.
Bring this up. Fair use. Fair use, God damn it.
Yo, watch my wood. Yo, it's crazy out here. Oh! 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 Oh my God! Oh my God! Bro, they just killed them in front of me. Yo! Yo! Y'all ain't had to give him that many shots. Y'all ain't had to give him that many shots. Yo, what the? Yo! This crazy, cuz.
Lady Sunkiss, your thoughts on all of it, everything I showed you.
Being a police officer is a difficult job.
What did you see? What did you see in all three of those three videos? What did you see?
I saw aggressive, what you call them, suspects, not obeying the commands of the law enforcement.
Did you see how each case was handled?
Yep.
Do you think they were all handled the same?
Mostly.
Now I want you to imagine like the first case, right? She ran out, tried to stab. Well, she did stab the lady officer. She stabbed the lady officer. They put quite a few. They put quite a few bullets in her, right?
Right.
And she still held on to the knife. And eventually, they did get control of her. They sent the dog, they tased, and all that kind of stuff, right? But the second one, it was just one sheriff's deputy against a man. He had a knife, he had a screwdriver, and she put a couple good shots at him, reloaded, and finally subdued him. The third one, he never got as close to them as the other two did. In fact, he never truly charged per se. He was actually kind of running in a circular pattern. He didn't directly charge the officers, and they laid him down. They laid him down.
Yes.
So my problem is, see, I never really have a problem with the shooting. My problem is the amount of shots.
Right.
I'm always going to have a problem with the amount of shots because when that lady first came out and literally stabbed that other cop, she was still breathing.
Yeah.
At the end of that clip.
Right.
I don't think the brother was at the end.
No, he wasn't.
Of that.
Right.
And I mean, we didn't. They said the white man who they shot, he eventually died too. But my thing is the amount of shots. So I guess my question to you is: do you think that the police use more bullets on black folks than they do white people?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah.
Because last week I did a whole thing on a few police killings, and I displayed the difference between one case where the person was shot, I think 2 or 3 times, and other cases where the person was shot 5 times, and in one case, like Quadri Sanders, he was shot 12 times. And it appeared to me that, well, it was on video that he was shot while he was on the ground. In fact, both of those brothers were. And I think they're a little more reluctant to shoot certain people while they're on the ground as opposed to others. And that's my problem. As a person who, carries himself, I just don't think I would continue to shoot a person while they're on the ground. I mean, once they fell, that's kind of it. All right. I'm not going to put another 5, 4, 6, 7, 8. I just don't think I'll do that. I mean, I would have to be in the situation, but I just don't think I would do that. And what it leads me to ask is, do you think that young black juveniles are more likely to commit these juvenile delinquent crimes that we talked about earlier than young white juveniles are?
Hell no. Not at all. Not by a long shot.
So whites are more likely. You think whites are more likely to? You think they're more likely to commit juvenile crimes than black people?
Hell
Young white boys?
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
So white people are more criminal. Y'all heard that, white people? Lady Sunkiss said y'all are more criminal minded when y'all are juveniles and adolescents. White people are more criminal minded.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Well, why do you say that, Lady Sunkiss?
But
why you say
based
that?
on, my experience, like largely I grew up in pretty much a black bubble. But when I went to school with a variety of different groups of people. And for the most part, I stayed at home. When I got to high school, I was able to venture out a little more. And at the school that I went to, it was, different races of people, different pockets of people. None of my black friends, we went out in any criminal activity in school. But when I hung out with the white people, alcohol was there. Sometimes drugs was there. I remember I was in high school when the Columbine shooting happened, and it was a group of white boys and this one black boy, and he was weird as hell. Like most of the black kids didn't even really fool with him because we thought something was severely mentally wrong with him. But him and another group of white boys decided that at passing period, they were gonna put on long black trench coats when the bell rung for us to change classes and just walk out into the middle of Main Street, which was the main hallway on the first floor of the high school, and panic and all kind of shit ensued because of that. So white kids do stuff that most black children not gonna do. I do believe that these instances that we see in the news, while it's problematic, those are the minority. Because, I mean, honestly, most of us got parents that's going to put foot all up in our ass, whether they be good parents or bad parents. It's just certain things you don't do. So, based on my experience, yeah, white teenagers do a lot more criminal shit.
Y'all heard it here first. Y'all heard it here first. You white folks, y'all some criminal ass little damn kids. God damn it, little criminal freaking Caucasian white people. Well, if because we talked about crimes, right? Earlier when we was playing, we was playing the game earlier. And I mean, you got a lot of them shits right. Why do you think that some crimes are more likely to be black folks, some crimes are more likely to be white folks or Latino folks or whatever? Why do you think that it is?
Well, I just said, while we were playing, that it's a cultural thing. So if you look at the way the people live and how they behave in their cultural norms, which is sometimes they're translated as stereotypes, but stereotypes exist for a reason. So if you see the way that, a group of people live their lives and the things that they're known for, then it's the details inside of the crime. Like most of the white kids, they dragging people into the woods, they're sodomizing them. They have crimes against their mothers, like I was making the joke, oh, I'm gonna kill you, mom, or whatever, but I used to watch what's that show, Family Guy, and that little baby Stewie, he always trying to kill his damn mama. Well, I honestly believe that art imitates life. When I've watched other shows, the little white boys will be having a hissy fit. I hate mom, I'm gonna kill her, all this kind of old stuff. So if this is continually showing up in the art, then that is something that's going on with the culture. I've watched pretty much every season of Law and Order that there is. And when I look at the SVU series, when it's talking about these white children and the crimes that they commit, sodomizing people is a common thing. So these are the crimes that's being committed. This probably belongs to that demographic or group of people. Asians is really hard to see things from them because they're such a small percentage of the population. But they will straight up kick your ass, okay? And if they pulled out a weapon, trust me, they scientifically decided how to execute and use their weapon. So their crimes are more gonna be along the lines of like self-defense, unless they like into some, gun trafficking or stuff like that. They do stuff like that, but just regular petty crimes that affect people, that's the type of stuff they're gonna do. Mexicans, they tend to be known as, hot-blooded or spicy or whatever. Not as spicy as some other African cultures, but 9 times out of 10, if it's like a stabbing inside of a passionate type of thing, usually that's gonna be a Hispanic or a Mexican person. They commit some gun crimes as well, but it's usually gonna be some basically spicy, hot-tempered stuff going on with them. So if you know the differences and respect the differences between the cultures of the different demographic of people, then you can kind of see what type of crimes that they'll create. And knowing that type of stuff is how good investigators are able to actually find the people that they're looking for, because it's a way of profiling.
Okay, I got up on the screen what you sent me in the email. Set this up for me. What are we looking at here before I started?
I have no idea what is going on. All I know is it's some type of concert and event, and if I say anything else, then it's gonna give the video away.
All right, fair use. Let me see what Lady Sunkiss done sent us, y'all. Okay, what's happening here? What's happening here? What's happening here?
You got these women on the stage and they twerking, but she decided that she needed to raise her dress up and show her natural butt.
So why did the kid run up and start fighting her? Is he baby daddy? Is he
So the
what?
caption says that it was her son, but I don't know
That
where the
was her.
video came from. So that's why I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, the caption says it's her son.
Oh, okay. So he runs up and he's fighting mom because mom's up there twerking. Is that what he's doing?
But
Twerking while pregnant.
I don't think it's just because she's twerking. I think it's because she got up there, you pregnant, and you got your butt out. And, ain't no telling what happened. He could have had friends in the crowd. Ain't no telling what he dealing with at home. And then you want to come out here. And he just had enough. I'm tired of this. I'm just to roll on you.
Oh, Lady Sunkiss could get my shit flagged. Goddamn. Flag the hell down. But let me ask you this. Do you think because we were talking about the juveniles and how crazy they is and they be killing folks and doing all this kind of stuff, and you said that listening to the crimes you knew what they was based on the cultural stuff, so I guess young black folks are more likely to they're more likely to do the robberies, things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
Stealing cars and all that kind of stuff. Murders too, because they've killed a few people as well. But when it comes to that other stuff, killing your parents, burning the house down and doing all that kind of shit, most of those people were white. Those were young white kids who were killing their parents with like claw hammers and baseball bats. And, after they did it, they set the house on fire. They go into overkill. And the one kid, he killed his parents with a damn claw hammer, left their bodies in the bedroom, and had a freaking party while their bodies were upstairs, bludgeoned to death.
Right.
All right. That kind of stuff to me is just, it's like totally off the pale. All right. First and foremost, you kill your parents with a damn claw hammer. And after you kill them with a claw hammer, you got their bodies up in the bedroom, and you and your friends is downstairs having a party and doing drugs and shit like nothing's happened. Shit like a weekend at Bernie's or some shit. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you have these little white boys who take this kid, this 2-year-old kid, they take him out in the woods, they beat him, throw rocks at him, make him eat batteries. They stuffing batteries up his butt, and then they take a 22-pound goddamn railroad freaking barrier and slam it down on his head. These young degenerates are just evil. All right, these are just evil little kids. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to describe it anywhere else. These are some evil little ass people, plain and simple. Now, let me ask you this: do you think that these juvenile offenders who do this when they're 12 and 13 and 14 years old, should they be treated like adults in the criminal justice system?
depends on their mental capacity.
Their mental capacity, they're insane. They're insane.
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't say that. Because if you got somebody that does not fully understand the consequences of their actions or what they were doing, then maybe charge them as a juvenile and, give them the proper therapy that they need. They may be viable to society. But if you got somebody that knows what they were doing and they did it anyway, and all of they need to be charged as adults. They are a detriment to society.
Well, if okay, you got these 12 and 13-year-old children, because that's what they are. They're children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have the wherewithal to commit these heinous, horrible, deviant crimes
Mm-hmm.
and kill people, stab them, shoot them, do all this kind of foolishness to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you take them and you lock them up. Okay,
Mhm.
let's say you do lock them up as inside of some juvenile detention center with other crazy degenerates like themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You let them out because I believe that once you lock one of these kids up, that's it. They kind of stop growing, and they've stopped growing because number one, they're not getting any parenting in there, and they're probably getting very little quote unquote counseling or mental services in there. Because what's a juvenile detention center? It's just a jail for kids, right? That's all it is. It's just a prison for kids. So you have them in this prison for kids. They came in there when they were 13. You let them out when they're 21. I find it hard to believe that these little people that grew up in the system and have been there for 8 or 9 years, I find it hard to believe that when they come out at 21 or at any age, that they're going to have a mature mind. I think that when they come out, they're still going to have that same 13-year-old mind that killed the baby and threw bricks on his head and stabbed him and did all this kind of foolishness to him. I think they're going to have the same kind of mind, even though they're an adult now. They're basically like a little kid in an adult body at this point because they haven't had any parenting.
And that's my issue with the judicial system. I don't understand having different levels of prison if you're not going to provide any rehabilitation. I don't understand putting somebody in a juvenile center if you're not going to provide the proper therapies to make sure that they are properly being rehabilitated. Because if you put broken people in a group together, they're going to huddle together, and some of them don't have the tools to straighten themselves up. So they're going to continue their delinquent behavior and mindset, and they're going to do it within each other in the confines of that environment, and it's just going to exacerbate the problem. So I don't believe that the failure is necessarily in the fact that they have these different tier systems. I think the failure is in the support given to different tier systems. Now, if you a menace to society, throw away the key, lock them up, that's a different place. There's no use in, expending the resources to try to rehabilitate somebody that's just hell bent on staying the way that they are. By all means, let them animals stay in the cage. But I do believe that there is redemption for everybody that wants it. And if we're going to say, because I remember going to try to be a correctional officer, and the job description that they put out there to get people to apply was rehabilitation and things of that nature. And I read the job description and I was like, oh yeah, I think I can do this. And then when I get in there and they're like, what would you do in a particular situation? And I was like, I try to talk to them and they like freaking snapped on me like I had said the craziest thing up. Oh, you don't talk to them. You tell them to get their ass in there in that cage, and if they don't pull it out, you pull your stick. If you have to swing it, I was like, whoa, what? I thought we was here. No, we don't rehabilitate anything. Then what the hell are they in here for? To learn how to be more, even worse wild animals? What the hell?
It's care, custody, and control. Care, we give you 3 hots and a cot, some jailhouse shoes and a jail suit. Custody, your ass cannot leave. Control, lights out at 11, up at 7. That's it.
But that's what I don't
There is
understand.
no rehabilitation.
What is the purpose of having a trial if you're not going to provide rehabilitation? What is the point? Because usually people will go to trial to either lessen their charges because the circumstances provide that this person is not the heinous criminal that we perceive them to be. So what is the point of going through the trial if when you give them punishment, you're not going to give them any rehabilitation?
Yeah,
it don't make any sense.
Well, don't you think it would be, you would think, right, in an ideal world, right, that it would be easier to rehabilitate a young child that's maybe, because we had one of these cases, one of the kids was 6 that shot somebody. One of the kids was the 12 that shot somebody. I mean, these are babies, right? You would think that it would be easier to rehabilitate and reform a 12-year-old child as opposed to, say, a 32-year-old adult, right?
Right.
But my contention is not necessarily, because, see, the 12-year-old child, he's killed someone, but guess what? He probably doesn't understand the full gravity of the situation. He probably doesn't understand how, number one, how not just how it affects him, but how it affects other people. He doesn't have any understanding of that. So you lock him up, and even if you lock him up for quite a few years, and once he get to be 18 or 21, you put him in an adult prison and you let him stay there till he's like 30 or 40. Guess what? When he went in, he was 13. He comes out, now he's 30. I think this 30-year-old still has the mind of a 13-year-old. I don't think you can mature inside the penitentiary. I think you can become hardened. I think that you can maybe possibly take a few programs while you're in there and get a small smidgen of education. But I don't believe that these people can actually mature in prison, which makes them even more dangerous because they're still the 14-year-old, the 13-year-old, the 12-year-old they were when they went in, only now they're in a 30-year-old body.
Now that I don't believe.
Okay.
Because of the simple fact that they can take these programs. They can access books and all of these different things. A person that will know that they're in the system and they take the time to go to the library and crack a book open and read it, there's somebody that knows, look, I can't get the social experience that I need. I have to deal with that when I get out. But I can at least change my mind and my mentality by educating myself and taking advantage of the few little programs that they do offer in here. That's a totally different mindset than the person that's just like, oh yeah, I'm going here, go to the yard, shoot some basketball, try not to fight these niggas today, go to sleep, eat, do it all again tomorrow. Them two different mentalities. So I don't think that they necessarily come out with their mindset. I think they come out with a lot of deficiencies because a lot of the things that they would learn in society growing up, they didn't necessarily get because they was in a cage with wild animals. So they had to survive because, whenever you're trying to do something good, you always got somebody coming trying to attack you. So you didn't have to deal with that. You survived that. You didn't continuously get in trouble behind that. So that's you learning right there how to avoid certain scenarios, even when your, back is against the wall. And you continue to, stay focused on what you're trying to do. Those are things that can translate and help them stay focused in society, pending they come out here and continue to, keep their particular mindset. I don't think all of them are that way. I just think that the justice system fails to actually.
But what about the ones that are Lady Sunkiss? What about the ones that are in there stabbing folks and fighting,
They need
doing
to
all
stay in
this,
there.
raping folks?
That's what I'm saying. I think the justice system isn't properly doing its job. Those people should not be released back to society. I don't give a damn what your sentence was. You have shown that you are a menace to society in here, so you get to
So
stay
leave
in
them
here.
in there beyond their sentence.
Yeah, if you have acted an ass in jail, like this is the only other punishment you can get is death. Okay, so if you in here and you still haven't learned to straighten yourself up, then yeah, you need to stay here because this is where you belong. I'm not gonna send you back outside to harass the other citizens. Demonstrate that you can be a viable member of society.
Wow, you know what? I actually agree with that. I agree with that. If you are a person, regardless of what age you were when you came in, and you in there and you still stabbing folks and you're doing all this kind of foolishness and raping people and doing all this kind of mess, even if your sentence is over, you stay in.
Right, they
I
should
actually agree with that. I agree
I
with
feel
that.
like every time that they show some instance of, oh, this is the type of criminal activity that will get you locked up, you need to add more time to them. You ain't gonna never get out because you keep accumulating time while you in.
Yeah, and that's what happens to a lot of people. They get in there and they go in there with 5 years, and the next thing you know, they got 50. Because they done stabbed somebody, they done, did something. They done stabbed somebody in the throat, they done shanked them, they done got in multiple fights and assaults and
They need
stabbing the cops.
No. Oh, they got him to put them in the hole. No, fuck that. You fight somebody, extra 6 months, automatic. Oh, you fought somebody else, extra year. Keep it up. As long as you show your ass up in here, you gonna stay in here.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I would have to agree with that. I would have to agree. Do you think? I think that we can put a dent in juvenile crime, but I just don't know if people would agree with what I think would change it. So, what do you think would stop or put a dent? Because there's no such thing as stopping anything. You can't stop crime. The only thing you can do is kind of cut it down. What do you think will stop these juvenile criminals? Because the juvenile crime is rise in a lot of these major cities like New York, L.A., Baltimore, St. Louis, Chicago, Memphis, Tennessee, New Orleans. You name it. A lot of these cities are having surges in crime, and a lot of the people getting caught and arrested for these crimes are teenagers. They're 14, they're 15, they're 16, they're 17. So, what do you think stops this? What do you think curbs the surge?
I honestly don't think there is much that can be done to stop it because I really believe that it is a parenting issue. And the way that I would say fix parenting issues, people not gonna like that because that's an invasion of privacy. That's it's just gonna go against folks' civil liberties. Because like if you got a lot of little white boys out here killing their damn parents, then perhaps social workers just need to drop in every once in a while, do a little check. if you got, you know, the black children out here, first of all, you finding guns and basically playing with them. Somebody needs to make sure that you actually doing your job as a parent. I believe that that's mostly where the issue lies, because when I saw children doing certain things, especially in my teenage years, it was because of a lack of parental supervision. And it wasn't like, you know, it's the parent is regularly like, one thing that blew my mind when I would go to the white children's house was the fact that there was a key to the liquor cabinet. And they knew where to get it at and unlock the cabinet. Now, I ain't never been to a now black household where there was a key to the liquor cabinet. We just knew you better not touch it. Period. At no point in time. And if you even took a sip, they gonna know. And it's your ass, you know? So
Yeah.
it's just different things, and I really believe that this stuff is parenting issues. I don't think it's anything like, I mean, you know, like the school can provide more programs, they can extend the school time or whatever, but you got children that don't even go to school, so that's not gonna really help, you know. The mentorship programs, but you know, who really wants to deal with lazy ass parents and parents that's gonna come try to jump down your throat because you correct their child, you know. So at the end of the day, I really don't have much of a solution other than to say be better parents, and that's not gonna get us nowhere.
Yeah. It's strange that you say that, Lady Sunkist, because I grew up and, you know, my father was a gun enthusiast. All right. He didn't just have guns, he had a gun cabinet. All right.
Mhm.
With I don't know how many guns in there. And I don't remember it being locked. I don't remember you had to use a key to get in there and get a pistol or a rifle, or you just knew to stay the hell away from that damn gun cabinet. You didn't have to lock that shit. You have to worry about you going in there when you was 10 years old and getting one of them guns and taking it to school and shooting at somebody with it. No. I mean, none of us turned into mass shooters at school. And we had access to the guns. I mean, because my father, he must have had 50, 60 different guns in that fucking cabinet.
Mhm.
And none of us ever became a mass shooter.
Right.
None of us ever went to the school with a couple of his pistols in our backpack. I mean, it just never happened. You just knew to stay the hell away from that damn gun cabinet unless he told you to get near it. I don't think he ever locked it. I don't. Nowadays, they want you to lock them guns up, put trigger locks on them. They want you to have a gun safe, you know, or something that's under lock and key or combination lock and all that kind of stuff. And it's crazy because shit in here, you know, I have the firearms, you know, locked up except for, you know, the 50. I keep that handy, but you know, the rest of them are, you know, they're locked up, you know,
Mhm.
because kids are here. All
Yeah.
right, kids are here. And,
Mhm.
you know, I don't want them to get hold of one of these damn firearms, you know, mess around and go to school, shoot somebody or shoot somebody in here or shoot themselves or, I mean, no. I guess we just live in different times, right? We live in different times when you got someone who's a kid because you fix 15, 16, 17, you're a freaking kid and you
Mhm.
feel the need to pick up firearms and walk inside of a school and just start shooting people. Do you think that some of these kids, well, obviously they're desensitized to the violence, right? But do you think they become desensitized because of media and television? It is this Call of Duty and the violence and shit on TV and in video games and shit and on the computer. Do you think that that's playing a part in this?
I think to a certain degree, I believe that could be part of the issue, but let's go with black children and the curiosity to go and mess with a gun. Well, you see guns in the movies, you see it on the TV shows, you hear it in the music. It's been normalized. Whereas in the time that I grew up, you know, I didn't too much see any handguns. Most of my family had like shotguns and rifles and stuff like that, and they kind of like sat behind a door or something like that, and you just basically knew you don't play with that. It's not a toy. If I catch you near it, I'm gonna get the switch, you know. And we knew not to play with it. So if we saw it, we knew up. We gotta find somewhere else to play, and we just left it alone. Well, in the society that you know my children are growing up, guns are just pretty normal, you know. And then you know with the politics, it's all right, and everybody walking around with guns and stuff. This is normal to them. So, you know, and they don't have the mindset to know, you know, if you use that weapon, that is the end of somebody's life. They might not have the full capacity to understand that. But it's more accessible to them than it is for us. Maybe the video games, because you know, like Call of Duty and stuff like that, that's more of a military thing. So maybe influence them to go to the military or something like that. Games like Grand Theft Auto, though, I don't like it. I don't like Grand Theft Auto. It's just terrible. So maybe something like that could help influence, you know, sort of just like the media, the music, and all of that stuff. But I really just think it's so accessible in the culture, and parents are going to have to adopt to the fact that it is accessible in the culture and actually start teaching and parenting these children about guns and gun safety.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. Because I talked to the little heads about it. You know, and I want them. I don't want them to be afraid of firearms, but I also don't want them to think that, you know, it's, you know, you just pick up one of these guns and then go out and start shooting like it's some damn video game or some shit like that. So, um, but I want to ask you about female juvenile offenders because according to this article I was reading to you guys earlier, it says that female crimes have increased a lot since like 1997. It says that female offenders, they represented 26% of overall arrests, 16% of the violent crimes, 21% of the assaults, 6% of the murders, 9% of the robberies, 9% of the weapons violations, 11% of the arsons, 28% of the burglaries, 13% of the drug violations, and 45% of the embezzlement, and 16% of the vehicle theft. Now, that's significant when you have to worry about a female carjacking you. All right, you have to worry about a female breaking into your house. You have to worry about a female burning your house down. Um, you have to worry about a female killing you. They said that they were let me see, what did they say again? 26%, no, 16% of violent crimes. Now they're only 6% of the murders, right? 6%. But they say it's on the rise. And they say it's all due to, you know, girls being, you know, treated differently, uh, girls being socialized differently. Um, you know, this whole feminist equal rights and women are equal to men and all this kind of stuff. They say that that is a contributing factor to the rise of young girls committing crimes. Um, because when you think about crimes, right? When you think about young people committing crimes, you automatically think about dudes. You think about young boys. doing robberies and shootings and carjacking and robbing liquor stores and muggings and all that kind of stuff, you think it would be young dudes, but they say the number of females, it's rising with them doing it. They're doing the mugging, the robbing, the shooting, the murdering. So what do you think that's all about? Besides just the way they're being socialized, what do you think that's about, these little 12, 13, 14-year-old girls out there carjacking and robbing liquor stores, doing all this bullshit? You know you're up there twice, right? Hey, Sunkiss. All right, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think when you have a society that's basically teaching these women to be more masculine, then you're gonna have good and you're gonna have bad. You're gonna have, the ones that's gonna go out there, be super career driven and try to climb the top of the corporate ladder and all of that type of stuff. And then you're gonna have the ones that aspire to be the best street thug that there is, like what's that show? They want to be like the lady on Queen of the South and stuff like that. You gonna get the good with the bad. And considering that women outnumber men in the population, you're gonna see us skyrocket in those type of crimes as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but do you got kids? Do you have sons or daughters? You have sons or daughters?
I have a son and a daughter.
Do you worry about, because they also talked about um children getting into the wrong crowd. That's also a contributing factor to, kids, I guess heading in the wrong direction, if you will. Do you worry about your daughter, having crazy ass friends that do crazy shit and then do drugs and steal and carry knives and guns and shit like that? Do you worry about that with your daughters? With your daughter?
With my daughter, to a certain degree. But I do believe that what is taught at home, she'll carry with her. And, if that was to occur, that's like when I socialize my children, I don't shelter them from certain spaces. um, I supervise them in certain spaces because should you encounter something that looks similar to this, I'm gonna need you to know you in the danger zone and you need to quickly exit away from it. I think when you shelter children, you put them at a disadvantage because some of those things can look like a really good time. Like for some children that I grew up around, they saw things like a rave and thought that was a good time. And all I saw when I looked at that was drugs, alcohol, rape, assault. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to that. I think is what I'm more concerned about is because my daughter is, I can tell now she's gonna be fairly attractive. When it comes to the girls, I'm more worried about girls harming her out of jealousy. That's more
Mm,
what I'm concerned about.
yeah, rightly so. Cause
Especially
nothing
with the way
nothing makes
she's
a ugly girl mad like a pretty girl.
right. And you know, unlike her mother, she's a lot more softer and bubbly than I am. So she's not very aggressive. Now, don't get me wrong, she got a mean streak, but she is very bubbly. So that type of personality combined with the level of attractiveness I see budding, um, that will make a lot of young girls jealous of her. That's what worries me. Teaching her how to properly protect herself and how to handle certain situations so they don't escalate into something crazy.
Oh, so I guess you're teaching her. I guess you're teaching her de-escalation tactics.
Uh, yeah, to a certain degree, I do more watching and observing than I do controlling. It hasn't gotten to the point that I had to control. But when she was younger, there was a little girl. She's very social, and she wanted to play with this little girl. Well, this particular little girl, uh, had her going in the house and stealing the snacks out of my house to give to her. And so I told her, I was like, you don't take food out of my house to give it to these other children. When I have enough to give to everybody, I do. But these are y'all snacks, and she doesn't give you any snacks, so don't take. And this girl was older than her as well, and she said okay, and she went and she did it again. Well, I couldn't prove it. She was sneaking. So one day, I actually caught her, and I yelled at her. The front door was open, so they all heard it. So she was embarrassed and she was shamed. And from that point on, um, up until now, when somebody tries to tell her, convince her to do something, she'll tell them, "No, I'm not getting in trouble for you."
Yeah. I always worried about my daughters because I have 2 sons and 2 daughters. And my sons are my older kids. My daughters are my younger kids. Um, I worried more about my daughters than I did my sons. Uh, because I taught my sons how to box and self-defense and all that kind of shit. So I never really worried about them. But my girls were different. I worried about them for multiple reasons. Because number one, uh, girls have a tendency to be easier to be talked into shit. Um, Girls can come home with a baby in their gut, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I always worried about the influences that they got, from their friends and from guys and all that kind of shit. So I don't think I ever really was too concerned about the criminal thing as much. Not with my girls, with my boys. I thought more about the criminal stuff with my boys. I
Hmm.
didn't want my boys to be out there robbing and stealing and shooting folks or, fuck around and get their hand on one of my pistols and go somewhere and do something. I was more concerned with them, you know, when it came to that kind of stuff. Not so much of my girls. I wasn't worried about one of my daughters, finding one of my guns and going and shoot somebody with it or no shit like that. I never thought that. I thought that would be more of, you know, a male thing. But the world we live in now, I don't know how I would think now. Um, I guess I would treat, because if I had girls here, which I don't, um, I guess I would think the same way about them that I think about my nephew and my grandson. I would probably give them all kind of the same kind of, energy and talk when it came to like firearms and shit like that, because I wouldn't be apt now at the age I am now. I would not think that I just have to worry about, one of the boys in the house getting hold of one of my weapons, one of the boys in the house getting hold of, like, my tasers, because I got tasers and shit too. You know, I would more think that it could be anybody. I'd be, if you go back 30 years, I would be more weary of my sons doing it as opposed to one of my daughters, if you can understand what I'm saying. But now in 2022, I have to be concerned with, you know, boys or girls in the house getting hold of the pistol, getting hold of the rifle, getting hold of a taser. I would treat everybody the same. I didn't do that when they were younger. I focused more on my boys, making sure they knew stay the hell away from these guns. These ain't toys, blah, blah, blah. Don't put your hands on these guns. Or that was more of a thing focused on them. If I had girls living in this house, I think I would focus on all of them just because of the time, that the times that we live in now. Yeah, I think I would be more apt to give everybody, the speech. I would give everybody the rules, the lines, the regulations. I would have to teach everybody gun safety as opposed to just teaching the males in the house gun safety, which is what I did, when my boys were smaller. So we live in crazy times now, and because back then boys was more likely to be fools than girls. All right. Yeah, back then boys was more likely to be fools back then. You go back 30 years. I mean, my boys, they in their 30s now, but I mean, back then you would expect your boys to go to jail if they did some crazy shit, or you would expect your boys to be the one to stab somebody, or you have to worry about teaching your boys not to rob, not to mug, not to, you have to teach them that.
Right.
Nowadays, if you got freaking girls, I mean, you got to be worried about whether or not they a damn mugger or a robber or a thief or own drugs, or you got to worry about everybody now.
Mhm.
It's everybody can be a potential killer, a robber, a thief, mugger, whatever you want to call it. I just think we live in a time now where if you have kids around, you better damn sure, number one, be in their lives. Number two, like I always say, give them counsel, guidance, instruction, training, discipline. You got to give them all that, not just your boys. You got to give your girls that shit too. You got to give everybody that, because that's the only thing that's going to keep your daughters off the stripping pole. That's the only thing that's going to keep your sons out the damn penitentiary. All right? That's just a fact. Because if you don't, we might just be talking about their little juvenile ass right here on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page. You Negroes know. But Lady Sunkiss, I appreciate you coming on. You're always a good sport on the Ridiculous Race Game. You kicked ass tonight. Lady Sunkiss kicked the white people's ass up here tonight, y'all. Lady Sunkiss kicked ass up here tonight, y'all. Like I said, she's always a good sport. She always comes when I ask her to come play the game, and I appreciate it, Lady Sunkiss. I do.
Well, thanks for having me up, and I appreciate you asking.
Absolutely. You're welcome up here anytime. Anytime. All right?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Peace. Yeah, y'all. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, brother Stoic. Lady Sunkiss kicked their asses tonight, boy. But she is one of my returning champions because Lady Sunkiss won a while back. She had whooped everybody. I don't remember which one it was. I mean, we're on number 11 now, so we got quite a few under our belt, brother Stoic. But yeah, she's a returning champion. Yeah, she kicked the ass tonight, though, man. Yeah, she beat the shit out the white folks tonight, boy. The white folks didn't stand a chance tonight, y'all. Down with white supremacy. Down goes white supremacy. White supremacy didn't win tonight, y'all. Tonight, white supremacy was defeated by Lady Sunkiss. But yeah, man, we gonna get on up out of here, man. Good shit tonight, man. I actually had fun tonight, man. Tonight was pretty good, right? A little different. Y'all notice how each one is different, man. I keep telling y'all I make them different every time. No two of these ridiculous race games are alike. I do it a little different. I put some serious shit in there, have a little fun in there, give it a different topic, a different theme, So yeah, man, we keep mixing it up, man. I try not to keep it because I don't want everyone to be the same, right? Because see, if everyone's the same, you folks will start to know what to expect. And y'all will be like, oh, they're gonna play this, they're gonna do this at 8, then at 9, they're gonna do this, and then they're gonna do this at 10 o'clock. No, I don't want y'all to know what's happening. I don't want y'all to be able to see what's coming. That's why I do that. I try to keep them different, man, because they're fun when they're different, right? They're just more fun if they're different. If the people who come, because we've been mixing and matching. A lot of the people that come have been here before. Every now and then we may throw one or two new faces in there, but I'm trying to keep it mixed and matched, man, so it don't be too, monotonous where you see the same old stuff, the same old people playing the same old kind of games, doing the same old kind of shit. Notice I always have a theme. This week it was crime. Next time it may be something else. It may be relationships. I don't know. It may be education. We always have a different theme, man, and I think it's good, man. I think it goes good like that. I think that's the way to do it. I think it's been like 2 weeks since we've done one of these. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. I haven't been doing them every week because actually on Saturdays I've been doing last Saturday I did, the old T.P.O.T investigates, and I got another one of those coming for y'all as well, and a pre-recorded. It's just that it's hard to like get, a lot of this stuff out, y'all, because I've been kind of working quite a bit. The season has picked up. So I don't really have the time like I want to, and y'all know y'all been following me a while. My work gets less and less as it gets hotter and hotter because the work picks up quite a bit in the summertime, man. We at the top of our season now. So, I can only squeeze this YouTube shit in when I can. This week I've been close around the house because I've been doing a lot of stuff, around the house because I also have a shop at my house. And I've been able to do a lot of stuff here, but that's all going to change next week. Next week, I'm going to be right back out on the road, um, in and out of places, a lot of mobile calls. So I may only do one show next week. Um, I might do a show on Wednesday and then Saturday, or maybe no, my bad, maybe Thursday, then do one Saturday. I may not be able to do 3 shows next week. I don't even know. Next week's schedule looks like it's going to be pretty tight. Like I said, I'm working on a pre-record, but I've been working on that one for like a couple days. I just can't seem to, get it finished fast enough because I like bringing y'all some pre-records as well. I don't like just streaming. I actually like putting pre-records together and giving y'all some of that shit too. Because a lot of times what I do with the pre-records, quiet is kept. I actually take like some snippets out of a live stream, especially when it's like the end of the live stream. I take some snippets out of it and put it to some music and put it to some video and just run it, as a pre-record. So people who probably didn't catch the end of the live stream because they left and got tired or whatever. Now I take the ending of that live stream and just make it into a pre-record, just make it like a remix, So that's what I've been doing. And shout out to Lady Sunkiss with the $5 super chat. I appreciate that, Lady Sunkiss. When you drop coins on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that, Lady Sunkiss, and thank you, because Lady Sunkiss is a good sport. But mostly everybody that comes through is a good sport, though, right? You know, we don't. Y'all know, y'all watched a few of these. Like I said, we at number 11 now. I don't think we've had anybody come up here and they were like a bad sport per se, right? At least I don't remember. I don't remember anybody being like a bad sport. I don't. I don't remember anybody coming up here getting offended or getting mad because someone said something that might have been a little prejudiced towards white people, or somebody said something that was a little prejudiced towards black people. You know, I don't remember anybody getting mad at any of these, man. I don't remember it. I mean, I would have to go back and look, but I don't remember anybody like getting angry because, you know, somebody said something about another race. I mean, that's what this is for. That's what this is for. This is for people to be able to talk freely about race, no matter what race you are. Because I think we give race and racism a lot of oxygen, man. Sometimes it just sucks oxygen right out the room. And I want people to be able to speak freely about race when they come up here. And what's good, pseudoscientist? I see you up there, brother. I want people to be able to come here and talk freely about race. All right? Everything doesn't have to be whitey white or blackety black, or no. No. And when we do these things, man, when we play this ridiculous race game, all races are welcome. All races are welcome. But y'all know that because we've had some of everybody up here, right? We've had Eskimos, we've had Native Americans, we've had Indians, we've had Latinos, white folks, black folks. Everybody's welcome, man, on these things. This is the night to come on and talk your shit about racism. What y'all saying? We talk about prejudice, bigotry, discrimination. And we have a few laughs at racism's expense. And notice people always come back, man. People always come back. People of all stripes. White, Latino, black, they always come back, man. They always come back. Because see, me personally, man, I don't think anything's wrong with people talking about race with other races of people. I don't think anything's wrong with that. Now, some people do, and that's fine. I guess that's why you'll never see them here. I think we give racism too much we give it too much energy, man. I think racism handcuffs a lot of us. Uh-oh, Lady Alice in the house, little 4-foot Alice. What's good, Lady Alice? I see you up there. Like I said, man, I think we give it too much energy, man. I think it shackles some of us, man. I think some of us are obsessed with fucking race. We make everything about race. Everything. All right? Everything is race. Everything. And a lot of us, man, we don't even have that much contact with other races. We really don't. The way we talk, some of us talk about racism, man, you would think we are dealing with racism every day. Because people want you to believe that racism is in the oxygen. Racism is in the trees. Racism is under the seat of your car. Okay? Racism is in your trunk. Racism is inside the gasoline. Racism is in the food. Racism is under your nails. Come on, man. Come on. I think a lot of us use that shit as an excuse, man. We use it as a fucking excuse to be failures, to think like failures. Because when shit goes wrong, we can always blame it on racism, no matter what it is. Let's just blame it on racism. I got a shitty job, blame it on racism. I drive a shitty car, blame it on racism. I can't live in the neighborhood I want to live in, blame it on racism. My stomach hurt, blame it on racism. I got a fucking tumor, blame it on racism. Stump your fucking toe on the deck. Oh, God, blame it on racism. The racist white man who built the fucking house. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Everybody wants you to blame everything on racism. And if you're not a person who thinks, talks, or acts like that, they say you a sellout, you a coon, you a Sambo, you this, you that, because you ain't fucking obsessed with race. I'm sorry, man. I'm not obsessed with race. I know what race I am. I know what color I am. Absolutely. Shit, I grew up in the suburbs of Long Island, one of the most prejudiced places on the planet. 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Trust me, I have a pretty good understanding of racism. All right? I have a pretty good understanding of it. I lived in a very prejudiced place. Went to a very prejudiced school. Grew up around prejudiced white establishments because of the town that I lived in. All right? Tell people all the time, man, I grew up in the suburbs. All right? I don't have no ghetto hood story to tell y'all. I don't. Notice I never tell it. You never hear me getting up here talking about how I struggled as a kid, because that was a fucking lie. If I tell it, that's a lie. All right? I didn't grow up that way. I wasn't raised in the fucking projects in some fucking hood somewhere. I'm not going to disrespect my parents' memory by telling you that bullshit, because it'd be a fucking lie. I was raised in the suburbs by working class people. That's how I grew up. All right? I didn't grow up. I don't have a hood story to tell you. I don't. Now, people want you to be able to get up here and say, oh, my mama struggled and she fed us government cheese and all this kind of bullshit. No, man, that's not my story. It's not. Shit, to be honest with y'all, I didn't know what fucking struggle was until after I left my parents' house. Shit. That's when some of the motherfucking hard times, boy, came around, boy. Especially when I was living by myself. Shit. Eating fucking ramen noodles and fucking tuna fish, for like 4 days straight, know, that kind of shit. You know, had just enough fucking money to put gas in my car and fucking pay my rent and shit. You know, cause shit, I moved out of my parents' house when I was like 17. So shit, I didn't fucking shit. Motherfucking struggle and shit, man. Shit, that shit, I didn't taste that shit till after I moved out of my parents. I tasted it then, yeah. Absolutely. When I was living by myself, yes. Yes. I got the cold hard facts of what it was to being on your own. And I had to learn to, save money and spend money wisely. So I could pay my bills and, my car insurance and have enough gas to get around and shit like that and make sure I had food and had to learn how to budget and shit. Plus, the other stupid habits I had, hanging out and shit, smoking cigarettes, chasing hoes, doing all that kind of bullshit. Guess what? That shit costs you money too. Had to learn how to, not be so stupid with my money. Had to learn that shit. And trust me, there was many times after I moved out of my parents' house, I doubted, whether or not I should have done it. And it wasn't like I moved out and was living in the lap of luxury. Shit, that fucking apartment I had when I moved out of my parents' house, shit, man, that motherfucker would fit in the bedroom that I'm in now. Probably twice. You could probably put 2 of those apartments in this bedroom. That's how little that motherfucker was. All right? It's not like I moved out and moved into some fancy bourgeois chateau. That shit was a little fucking basement apartment. I think that motherfucker was, I don't even know. I think that motherfucker was maybe 175 square feet. I don't even think that fucking place was 200 square feet. It was a little basement apartment. It had a bedroom, a small bedroom, a little kitchenette, and a bathroom. That was it. Now it had its own entrance and all that shit, a private entrance, but I mean, it wasn't this fucking, I didn't move out of my parents' house, man. Shit, my bedroom when I was living at my parents' house was shit. Damn near the size of that fucking apartment that I moved into. Shit, the bedroom I had in my parents' house, shit, it wasn't that much smaller than the fucking apartment that I was paying for. But I wanted to be on my own. Yeah, I have, man. I lived in New York City before. Yeah. Lived in Spanish Harlem with my man Raphael. Lived there for a while. Brother Stoic. Lived all over New York, man. Lived in New York City, man. Lived on Long Island, upstate. Yeah. Lived upstate, Hudson Valley. Shit, Western New York. Lived all over New York, man. All over. Up and down Long Island, man. Like, stayed in so many towns, throughout my young life. Doing shit. And even when I got a little older, because I was like a journeyman electrician for a while. So I stayed at many places, stayed in a lot of hotels. You get on a job, man, and you on the job for, sometimes 6 months, 7 months. And the job was so far from where I was living, with my ex that, we just would the company would rent us motel rooms. And, we'd be there for like 6 months, man, working on a building that was being constructed or some shit like that. Because I actually thought I wanted to be like an electrician, electrical engineer. That's what I thought I wanted to be when I was younger. So I was a journeyman electrician, did a lot of traveling, man. And we would stay in hotels and shit because it didn't make sense to travel, 3 and 4 and 5 hours, to the job, and then have to travel 3 and 4 or 5 hours back to the house. So I would only I would only see my kids like on the weekends because shit all during the week I'd be staying in a motel, working on a job site. So it was that. And shit, it wasn't only New York. Shit, man. I lived in Massachusetts. I was there for a while. Shit, Connecticut, shit, Pennsylvania, following the work and shit. Following the work. Living in motels and shit. Only seeing the kids on the weekends, coming home on the weekends to see the kids and shit. But the money was good. The money was really, really good. So it was worth it. It was worth it. Oh yeah, it definitely was worth it. But I didn't like the electrical stuff all that much. I mean, nah, I probably wouldn't have did it. I don't think I would have made I don't think I would have made a full career out of it. I definitely wouldn't have been doing it as long as I've been doing mechanical engineering and power mechanics. Um, this is this always suited me more, and it was a little more stable. Because with mechanical engineering, depending on what kind of mechanical engineering you're doing, you know, you're not doing all this journeyman traveling and shit. When you do a lot of electrical work, man, you do a lot of traveling, you know, especially if you're doing like new constructions, commercial buildings and shit like that. You find yourself following the work a lot, and you find yourself away from home a lot, you know. One shit for 3, 4, 5 months you working in one state, and then you working in an out of state, and then you working downstate, and then and that's what I didn't really like about it. All that, man. I was away from my kids a lot, only seeing my kids on the weekends and shit like that. And that was before the days of Zoom calls and, all this other shit. That was before all of that. So I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So I just didn't. So I made the switch. But I always was a mechanically inclined guy anyway. When you raised by a landscape guy, a guy that does landscaping and does landscape architecture, you find yourself very, very familiar with tools and shit, especially hand tools and wrenches and tool sets and sockets and all that shit. I was around that shit all my life, all right, because of who I was raised by. Shit, I knew my way around a toolbox ever since I was like 8 years old. All right. Ever since I was like 8, I was that little kid that you could send, you know, to get the toolbox and say you needed a crescent wrench or a pipe wrench or an open arm wrench or, I knew what those things were. All right. I knew what those things were at like 8 and knew what they were for. You know, I was a kid that worked on my own bicycles and shit. I was that kind of kid and worked on my friends' bicycles too. When I was like 8 or 9, you know, worked on their bicycles, worked on we had little dirt bikes and shit. I would work on their dirt bikes and, all that kind of shit. Work on our bicycles, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Because of my dad, because of what my old man did. So I was always around tools and shit, man, all the time. Brother Art, what's good with it, man? I see you up there, brother. Yeah, I was around that shit all my life, brother Stewart. All my life, man. I always been around tools and equipment, and you know, I mean, a lot of the shit that we did, when my father bought that other house, man, out there in the Gables and shit. I mean, it was like a fixer upper and shit, man. All the work on that shit, man. Me and my old man did that shit. We didn't hire nobody. Shit, we did the garage, we did the roof, the flooring. We put a new boiler in that shit. Me and my old man did that shit. No fucking no handyman, no No HVAC guy, none of that shit. Just me and him. And shit, that fucking shit, that new boiler, we put that shit in the dead of winter when it was like 5 below zero. God damn it. And the house that he had, it didn't have the house had a crawl space, but you had to access the crawl space from inside the house. You literally had to go inside the house, and then like the hallway in the living room, I'll never forget it. There was a panel that you had to lift up, and you lift that panel up. When you lift that panel up, you can get down and go into the fucking crawl space. So what we had to do, we had to go down into that crawl space, disconnect the old boiler, all right, drag that shit out of there on our knees. I climbed up, and my father pushed that shit up, and we had to lift it up through said crawl space and carry it out the house after we disconnected it, and then do the same thing in reverse to put the new one in. So it wasn't like we could just go into like now, you can get to your boiler easy. You go down in your basement, or, you know, like the house we're in now, it doesn't have a basement, but it has a boiler room, where the boiler is and the hot water heater is, and the AC unit is, outside, right out in the backyard. All that shit is easy accessible. That shit, it was an old house. So we had to drag that motherfucking 300 and some odd pound, the fucking boiler. We had to drag the old one out and then go in and put the other one in reverse and fucking slide that motherfucker into place while being on our knees when it's 5 below zero outside inside a fucking crawl space. Yeah, man. Oh, that was crazy. That was crazy. I'll never forget it, man. And shit. Then I was a teenager when we did all that shit, man. We did the floors in that house and the roof. Fucking put a new garage on that motherfucker. All that shit, man. Because my old man bought like this fixer-upper house that had mad shit wrong with it. Like, I know. I thought, I was like, damn, why the hell he buy a house that need all this shit? How about we buy a house where we can just move in this motherfucker and start living? Why the hell? Why the hell he had to buy a house where we got to do all this bullshit on it? I remember thinking that when I was a teenager. Like, Pop done bought this house. This shit need mad work. Gotta fix doors and shit, and floors and walls. Put a boiler in this motherfucker. It's winter time. Yeah, man. I was wondering why he bought that shit. But once we got it done, it was nice, man. It was nice. I mean, it was. I mean, the shit was nice. Once we did all that bullshit. But shit, I was hating that shit. He told me he had bought that house, man. I went and looked at it. We got there, he walking through there. He's like, oh, we gonna do this, we're gonna put this in, and it need a furnace, and we gonna fix this garage, and we're gonna do all this shit. And I'm like, I'm walking around in there with him like, God, Pop, why you buy this motherfucker? For what reason? We can't even move in this motherfucker yet. This motherfucker ain't got no heat. Motherfucking doors fucked up. Garage fucked up. Roof need to be fixed. Floor need to be fixed. Ah, shit, man. Shit, me and my old man, we did all that shit, man. We did all that shit, man. Me and him. Because my old man was a very handy guy. I mean, my old man always worked on all his cars and trucks and shit like that. I mean, it'd be me and him out there working on my mom's car, all that kind of shit. So I've been around tools and shit and equipment all my fucking life, man. Shit, I learned how to operate power equipment when I was like 10 or 11 years old, man. Shit, I could use a bulldozer, payloader, backhoe, skid steer. Man, I could run all that shit when I was a kid. Still can now. Still can. The operator, bulldozer, shit, payloader, shit, man. Skid steer, I operate all that shit, man. All types of tractors and shit. Yeah. Learned that shit when I was a kid, man. I guess that's why it just came natural to be, doing some type of engineering, man, or, some type of power mechanic. Because, I've always been around that stuff all my life. And the crazy thing is, when I was a kid, I always said to myself, man, I ain't going to be around this shit when I grow up. Look what I grew up to be. Just came natural, man. Came natural, man. Shit, when I was a small kid, I kind of hated it. But, my father had a business. So, shit, my father would have me driving a fucking dump truck with fucking 4 yards of fucking soil and gravel and shit on it. Pulling a fucking trailer with a small fucking backhoe on it and shit. I was like 12 years old. Like 12 years old. Working with him. And like I said, shit, I always thought I would be away from this shit. Shit now, shit, man. Shit, I design engines, man. Shit. Shit, we design generator systems. Yeah. We modify engines. We design them. All of that shit. Design hydraulic systems. Shit I never thought I would be fucking around with, man. Shit, you fast forward, man. Shit. You fast forward, man, 40 years ahead. I'm still around this shit. Still breathing in fucking fumes. Still breathing in fucking diesel smoke. Still getting oily and dirty as a motherfucker. Being covered with wood chips and dirt and insects and mud and grease and shit. 40 years later, still doing it. Still doing this shit, y'all. 40 fucking years later, man. But it's been good to me. And I ain't gonna lie, I can't complain. It's been good to me, man. It's provided me a good living. I'm able to, take care of my family and, that kind of shit. So yeah, and plus I know electrical. So, that helps too. Because some of the engineering and some of the power mechanicing, maintenance and repair and builds and shit, sometimes you have to do some wiring. So, the electrical part of it helps as well. The electrical, it helps. You know, been doing this shit a long time, man. Been doing it a long, long time, y'all. A long time. And I always envision, and I know y'all have heard me talk about this before. I've always envisioned, one of my sons taking it over, and the crazy thing is they don't want shit to do with it. They don't want nothing to do with this shit. You know, my youngest son, he's got his own business. He don't want nothing to do with it. And my oldest son, he works for the city and shit. He's an electrical engineer. He works for the city. He makes good money. He's like, oh, Papa, I don't want to. But I'm lucky. I have a grandson, and my grandson seems to be interested in it. One of my grandsons, I should say, is interested in it. He's 13. Yeah, he's 13. I think he'll be turning 14 this year. So, I figure I'd do this shit for maybe another 4 years and, let him take this shit over. He's interested in it. Knows his way around a toolbox too for a little fella. It must have skipped over my damn sons and went to him. Knows his way around a toolbox. He's very interested in motors and mechanics and hydraulics and processes and internal combustion, technology. He's interested in it. So, I guess it wasn't all for naught. Skipped over their asses and went to my grandson. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. At least I know I can leave it to somebody when my ass die. When my ass dead and gone, Yes, I know I could leave it to somebody who knows something, and he's like I said, he's good with tools. To be such a young fella, he knows how to work them. You know, he knows how to work them. Shit, he can work an air ratchet. You know, he can work cordless tools. He knows what tools are. And know what they're for. So there you have it. We'll see what happens, y'all. We'll see what happens. So I done drifted on off of what the hell we was talking about. Shit, I done goddamn we was talking about some other shit. We was talking about some other shit. I done drifted off talking about my old man's that damn handyman fucking special house. Yeah, because that's what they used to call them back then. Handyman houses. You buy the motherfuckers and motherfucker don't have no doors, don't have no window. Motherfucker got a big ass 6-foot hole in the roof. Chimney done fell down, that kind of shit. Yeah, my old man bought one of them motherfuckers when I was a kid, man. I had to help him fix that shit. So, you know, I've been around I've been around that kind of shit all my life, y'all. It's crazy. I've been around that kind of shit all my life. All my life, man. I tell people all the time, man, I'm a blue collar working stiff, man. I've been that ever since I could remember. Um, I had an office job like one time in my life, man, long time ago. Long time ago. I guess I was like 20 or something like that. I had an office job and hated it. Hated it. I like being outside, man. I don't mind getting dirty. I spend most of my week pretty dirty. Um, because I tell everybody all the time the engineering part of what we do is a very small part. It's only about maybe 30% of what we do, you know. I mean, I don't get that many opportunities to walk around in a collared shirt, in slacks, in a hard hat. The only time I'm doing that is when, I go to spec a job out or give an estimate. Most of the time, man, shit, if y'all see me out in the field, man, y'all wouldn't even recognize my ass. Y'all wouldn't even recognize it, man. Shit, told you I'd be covered with grease, and wood chips, and oil, and dirt, and fucking insects, all kinds of shit. Yeah, because I'd be up under bulldozers and payloaders and crawling up under fucking goddamn crawl spaces and shit, man. I'd be in steam rooms and shit, because we design cooling systems and shit too. So sometimes I'd be in steam rooms. Um we do a lot of because we do a lot of commercial work for some of the people here in the city. And here, if the building is big enough, they don't just have a backup generator. They have something called I guess they call it a steam engine, but I don't consider it a steam engine a steam room, because there's no steam involved. All that shit is ran by diesel. And it's a big generator room that you actually go in. You have to unlock it and go in it. It's like the size of a fucking garage. And inside of there is a fucking generator in that motherfucker, man, that stands fucking 8 feet tall, and that motherfucker's like 5 feet wide. And it's a backup generator. And sometimes they fuck up and they have diesel leaks and shit. You walk in there, the fucking diesel be spraying y'all in the face and in the mouth. And sometimes going that motherfucker, you step in the shit, fall out and shit. It's just crazy. Yeah, so I don't do a lot of because see, one thing about mechanical engineering, I'll tell y'all about this, then I'll shut up and let y'all get out of here. One thing about mechanical engineering, I mean, it's probably one of the most vast engineering industries around. All right. I mean, mechanical engineering, when people think mechanical engineering, they think you walking around, with a clipboard and shit all day long and just doing all this bullshit, taking specs and measurements. But that's a very small part of it. All right. Mechanical engineering branches out, man, to so many different things. Now, a lot of the principles are the same, though, right? You know, you you using physics, you using mathematics, you using materials. You have to measure stressors, heat tolerance, cold tolerance, element tolerance. Um, you're analyzing, you're designing, you're building basically like a mechanical system. And depending on what type of mechanical engineering you're involved with, that kind of dictates, you know, not only the process you use, but also the materials, um, and the equipment and the amount of time it takes as well. All right. And the amount of time it takes as well. Me, my specialty my specialty is power equipment, um internal combustion technology for the most part. So I do a lot of designing of gas engines and gas engine systems. We do a lot of modifications. We do installs. We build systems. We modify bulldozer engines. I mean, we can change your engine around. We can install a plate, make your engine bigger. We do motorcycles. We modify motorcycles, make them faster, give them more power. Commercial lawn equipment, we do that too. We do a lot of commercial lawn equipment. We modify those, make them stronger, give them more power, put new engines in them. So to do all of that has to be engineered. You have to take measurements because when you're modifying and changing engine parts, that changes the size of the pulleys. It changes the size of the pulleys on your hydraulics. So when you're changing the sizes of the pulleys and things of that nature, it also changes the length of your belts. So all of that has to be factored in. That's where the engineering part comes in, where you're taking measurements and applying length, width, speed, pressures, heat tolerance, depending on what you're designing. A lot of auto scale stuff. You know, y'all know what the auto scale is, right? It has to do with heat and heat tolerance. Um, yeah, we do a lot of that stuff, man. We do a lot of that. We do a lot of it, a lot of it. You know, but like I said, that's only about, let's say, 30%, man. That's only about 30% of what we do. You know, yeah, that's only about 30%, man. The other 60, 70 percent is maintenance, repair, installation, modification. The other 70% is that. Trust me. But it's a good field though, man. It's just one of those fields where you got to know your way around a toolbox. You know, you got to know your way. You got to know your way around a toolbox if you want to be a mechanical engineer. That's if you do what I do. You definitely have to know your way around a toolbox because if you don't, you suck at it. All right. You will suck at it if you don't know your way around a toolbox, know what tools are for, what applications to use. Because, see, if you're a person who designs, right? Like, say we're designing a generation system, right? Say we want to install a generation system in someone's house, because a lot of people get that, right? They get a big old backup generator for their house, because out here in North Carolina, a lot of people love to live off the grid, right? So they get these gigantic fucking generators and they have to be installed. So you have to engineer what wires to use, what strength, what gauge, where to put the generator at. Um, Timers and circuits and GFIs and shit have to be installed because if they're staying on the grid, they usually have it as a backup. So you want that thing to kick right in If the power goes off, you want it to kick right in. You don't want to have to go out there and, do all this bullshit. You want it to kick right in immediately. All right. We got this thing where it's called LF5S, we call it. No, LTFS, we call it. Less than 5 seconds. Your power goes out, less than 5 seconds, your backup generator should kick in. The backup generator should kick in. All right. At LT5S, less than 5 seconds. Right. And sometimes people's backup generators don't kick in immediately. So if they're having problems with it or it's not kicking in at all, they call us. We come out there, we check it out, we check the circuits, we check the relays, and if they need to be replaced, we replace them. If there's something else going on, we'll address that. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I'm one of those mechanical engineers, man, that I actually get dirty. I'm in there with my guys, man. I'm not a motherfucker sitting in the shop all day. I tell people this shit all the time. I'm not sitting in the shop all day with my damn feet up and money just running in the door. Yeah, right. I wish. Now the guys that work for me, they're not mechanical engineers because they don't do any designing. I do the designing. They're what you call mechanical engineering technicians. Because see, I can design the system. They come in and they can install it. Now I can install it my fucking self. All right. But I have people that can do that. They'll come in and I give them the spec work and they'll come in and they'll install it. All right. They'll remove an old system that we modified, install it, all that shit. I give them the specs, tell them what to do. I say, well, this has to be 6 inches from top dead center of the drive shaft of X engine. This have to be 8 inches from top dead center from the pulley. I give them the workup and they come in and they'll install it. They'll remove the old unit, put in a new one, But like I said, I could do it my fucking self. But, I have those guys and they're what you call mechanical engineering technicians. Now, when we're not doing that, we also have routes. We have routes that we run where we do, like on some of the buildings that we're under contract for, we go and we do, quarterly maintenance on some of them. Every 3 months we come, we start them up, make sure they're running the way they're supposed to, make sure everything's working in them, change the filters out. We change the fuel filters out, we change the air filters out. We clean we clean the dust catchers out. If they need new spark plugs or they need new ignition coils, we'll change those out. If they need new bushings, we'll change those out. We do like quarterly maintenance on a lot of those things. So we run like a route on certain days of the week. And some days that's all we do. We riding around doing quarterly maintenance on, commercial generators, for businesses. Some days that's all we do all day long. And the dudes that work for me, they can do that. They don't even really need me there. I mean, I only come there because some people that have hired us, they've been around for years. They've known me for years. And some people, they only want me there. If I do send one of my guys there or two of my guys there, they want me to come there too. Because they only trust the work if I'm around. Some people, they want me on the fucking place, even if I ain't doing shit. If I'm just standing there, they want me there. They don't want me to send my guys there. I have to go myself, even if I don't pick up a fucking wrench. They just feel more comfortable because I'm there, even if I have the guys doing it. So there's that too. Because a lot of these people, man, they've been customers of ours for 6 years, 5 years. So they just want me there just for me being there, I guess. And I don't give a shit because they pay. So I'll show the fuck up too and don't do a fucking thing. Stand around and smoke cigars all day. Stand around and smoke Romeo and Juliet's all day. God damn it. Yeah. So that's me, man. But y'all know all this shit already. I've been telling y'all the same shit for like 5 years now. So all of this y'all already know. Y'all already know all this shit about me already, man. This ain't news to y'all. This is not news to you Negroes. Y'all already know all this shit already. But yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead, man, and get on out of here, man. And far as this juvenile crime shit we was talking about tonight. Because I talked about this the other night. Family is what's gonna curve it. Family is what's gonna stop some of this shit. And not necessarily family now, trying to turn it into family now. Because if you got 16, 17-year-old degenerate miscreants in your family now, this might be hard to hear, man, but it might be fucking too late. Especially if they like some of the damn degenerates that we talked about tonight and talked about the other night. It might be too late for them. They 16, 17, 18, and they out there shooting folks and in and out juvie hall, and it might be too late. But if you got kids that are 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, it's not too late. It's not too late to keep them from being like the young kids talked about tonight. Shit, they were 10, 11, and 12, man. They murdered people and sodomizing folks and stabbing folks and doing all kinds of foolishness. 12 years old, killing people. Kill their little brother and shit. Kill their little sister. Kill some baby. Dropping steel plates on their heads and stabbing them to death. 12 and 13 years old doing this shit. So just imagine if they 16, 17, 18 doing this shit. I hate to say it, man, but it might be too late for them. It's going to take a lot of work to fix a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid who's literally murdered somebody. It's going to take a lot of work. Is it impossible? I'm not going to say that. But boy, it's going to be definitely difficult to fix that freaking dude. He's 16, 17 years old. He done murdered 2 people. Man. Gonna be hard to bring him back. Because I'm a true believer that by the time you 16, 17, you're kind of the person you're going to be. You're just a younger version of the person you're going to be. That's it. You're just a younger version of the person you're going to be. And you can keep that damn broccoli to yourself, brother Stiber. No ex likes some broccoli. I'd rather eat dirt. I'd rather eat the dirt it grows in than eat it. You got broccoli growing somewhere. I'd rather eat the dirt. Yeah, I'd rather eat the dirt that it grows in. But yeah, man, gonna take a lot of work to bring back a 17-year-old man that's freaking committed a couple murders. But I don't think it would be as difficult to take a 6 or 7-year-old and stop them from becoming that 17-year-old that commits the murders. Y'all can understand what I'm saying. I just think that's an easier task. Frederick Douglass thought it was an easier task, right? What did he say? He says it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Because once you're a broken man, it takes a lot to patch you up. Takes a lot to fix you. Takes a lot to bring you back. Takes a lot to change your mind. Takes a lot to make you not think like a criminal anymore. And I don't think you got to get all the way to 20 or whatever, or 21 for it to be that difficult. Like I said, man, you 16, 17, man, and you out there murdering people. You have disregard for life. You don't have any respect for life. And you probably had so much shit happen to you that, it'll be hard to turn it around. I know one thing I got to do, man. I got to look up those stats, man. Because I think the recidivism rate is pretty high for people who were incarcerated when they were younger. I think the recidivism rate is pretty high for them. I don't know the numbers exactly. I will get them. I will find them, and I will bring them to you. But I think young people who were incarcerated when they were teenagers and get out when they were adults, I think their recidivism rate might be right there along the lines of people who got incarcerated when they were adults. Their recidivism rate may be a little higher. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. I have to look the stats up. Maybe I'll have them for y'all the next time we talk. Because like I said the other night, these people, man, they get incarcerated, man, when they 13, and you let them out when they 30. I find it hard to believe that, they're not that same 13-year-old boy who killed his parents just in the body of a 30-year-old. I find it hard to believe. Because I don't think you mature. I was telling Lady Sunkiss, I don't think you mature in prison. You grow biologically, of course. Anybody is. Anybody will. But I don't think you necessarily grow in the sense of maturing in prison. I think you just become hardened. I mean, I know, of course, there's some exceptions out there. There's always going to be that. And to be honest with you, I think the people who get incarcerated when they 13 and 14, and I think they're more dangerous. Because now this motherfucker 35 with the mind of a 14-year-old. A person who he goes to prison when he's 30. At least he was already an adult when he went in. He doesn't have to learn how to be an adult. He just has to learn how to be responsible and stop committing crimes. He doesn't have to learn how to be a freaking adult. He was already an adult when he went in. Shit, you go into the damn prison system when you're like a teenager, man, 12, 13, 14. You haven't even learned how to be an adult yet. And you learn how to be an adult when you're a kid. You don't start learning how to be an adult when you become one, biologically, in terms of how many years you lived. It's not like you go to sleep at 20, wake up on your 21st birthday, and voila, you are now an adult. No, you learn about being an adult while you're a child by watching other adults, by being educated, by being around adults, by adults rearing you and teaching you and guiding you, showing you things. I just believe that stops. That stops when you're 13 years old and you get incarcerated. You don't have any more parents. You killed them, remember? There are no more parents. You murdered them. That's why you're incarcerated at 13. You took a claw hammer to the back of their heads, remember? Your parents are gone, so you're not getting any parenting while you're in the freaking juvenile detention center, which is nothing but a jail for kids. That's all it is. I don't think it's Club Med or no shit like that. It's just a prison for children. That's all it is. Just that all the inmates are minors. All the inmates are under 18. It's the only difference. Y'all all living under the same conditions. Y'all all wearing the same goddamn jail suit. Y'all all eating the same food. Nothing but a jail for kids. If anything, that shit is teaching you how to survive in an adult prison. If anything, only thing it's teaching you is how to survive in the penitentiary. That's it. It's not teaching you nothing else. I'm pretty sure it's not helping you becoming an adult by being in there. So I say again, man, the people out there, man, that got little kids, man, I think it's easier to keep them from becoming these teenage miscreants. I think that's easier to do than to have a teenage miscreant and try to bring him around. But that's all. So yeah, man, we're gonna get up out of here. Good shit tonight, man. I had some fun tonight, man, with the folks, I appreciate everybody coming through, man, as always, man. Like I always say, you could have spent your Saturday night anywhere. You decided to spend it here with us. It is appreciated, man. You know it is. It is appreciated, man. I appreciate the cash apps, man, and the super chats and stuff, man. But more importantly, man, I appreciate your participation, man. That means more to me than anything else, man. It just does. Brother Nagone in the house. What's good with it, Brother Nagone? I appreciate that shit, man, more than anything else, man. I don't take your good folks lightly, man. I never have, and I never will, man. You got my word on that. All right. Shout out, man, everybody that came through tonight, man. The good mother, Brother Survival, and Lady Sunkiss, man, for coming through, man, and playing another installment of the ridiculous race game right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, you Negroes know. So, with that, I will leave you good folks with 3 words, you know, like I always do. And oh yeah, this week, almost forgot to tell y'all, this week, we're going to be doing something different. Like I said, we may stream on Thursday. I'm going to bring y'all a story because we're going to be talking about constitutional rights. I've been watching, because, you know, I watch these things. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start bringing y'all into my world, man, and start showing y'all some of the shit I be looking at. And I watch a couple of people, I guess you can call them auditors. Well, that's what they call themselves. They call themselves auditors. And what they do is they go around and they try to exercise their constitutional rights by way of camera, you know, filming in public places, walking in public buildings, making sure that public officials are doing what they're supposed to do. It's almost as if they're sovereign citizens, but they're not acting like sovereign citizens. It's interesting stuff. And I'm going to bring y'all a story this week about a dude who was trying to exercise his constitutional rights. And usually when people try to do that, the first thing people do is call the police. And, you know, the police come and these people start explaining to them, and they start, you know, showing them the right and showing them the law and all that kind of shit. And they usually come out on top at the end. So this week, I'm going to be bringing y'all some of that stuff. I think y'all are going to enjoy it. All right. And like I said, I've been working on a pre-record, and I'm working on another T.P.O.T investigate story as well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all this shit in this week. I'm going to try. It all depends on what my work schedule will look like. But I'm going to try to fit some good stuff in for y'all, man, because we doing some different shit. We're doing some new shit. You know, we giving things a different look. You know, all that kind of shit's going on. But yeah, man, just stay tuned, man, to the T.P.O.T YouTube page, man. Y'all know. So, with that, I will leave you good folks with 3 words, you know, like I always do. Open your mind. Peaceful. Live from the T.P.O.T studios, the game where we talk about discrimination, prejudice, bigotry, with all of the absurd hypocrisies and contradictions that come with it. Get ready to play the ridiculous race game. Open your mind.
The prophet of thought. The prophet of thought. You know. The prophet of thought.
Open your mind. 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 Open your mind.
Only from T.P.O.T. Media. Open your mind.